Open tabs, margin notes, highlighter, bleed through quotes, research mind, steady eye, patterns only she can note. I-90 fog, whispering under wheels, skyline, afterglow, 2 states, packed rooms, quiet minds that know, no sign needed out front. They circle to her voice, questions rise before she starts, curiosity by choice. She pivots mid-lecture, checks who's leaning in close. Say the part you skip out loud, that's where the learning goes. Heads home with the speakers up, Biggie in the background, mind still mapping theories while the city slows down. She teaches the why behind the crime, the hurt behind the face, Philly in her backbone, psychology in her grace. Don't let the hype fool you, she stands 10 stories tall. She don't just teach the lesson, she teaches you through it all. Late nights with case files open, notes in the margin glow. She's showing you your story's roots, so you can choose where to go. Biggie quotes inside the slides, right next to coping skills. Spread love between the lines of how a nervous system feels. Long days, quiet grit, humor in the punchlines. You are more than this moment, written 10 times, old assessments in a folder, ink dust on the sleeve. She can map anxious attachment before you know you grieve. 1 foot in Jersey lecture halls, 1 on the Philly street. Home is where she learned to fight, classes where we don't repeat. Grown kids texting check-ins, pride she doesn't post. She teaches minds all day, then goes in mother's most. Case files, true crime, mind behind the scenes. She doesn't tell you what they did, she shows you what it means. Your story is not your diagnosis. You are allowed to rewrite it.
Hi guys, I almost forgot to put that on. How you doing? Welcome in, welcome in. Who do we have here? We have Alexa and Cuff You and Casey's here. Harlot's here. Look at you guys being on time. Miss Marissa's back. Welcome back, Miss Marissa. And Birdie's here and Andrea and Tony. Shut up, you guys. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. You literally said you would come back yesterday, and you did. Thank you. And that's why I'm back too. So there you go. You guys, look at my thing right here. See this on my hand? You know what it's from? It's from, it's from banging it on the table. It's like, I don't know what's happening. But anyway, I have everything ready for us again. How about that? I'm just on point. So, I'm going to get these messages up. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, here they go. I was going to say, oh, please don't make a liar out of me, but it didn't. It's right here. I just have to share them with you. So how's everyone doing? Before we get to the messages, can we just real quickly talk about Mackenzie's dad? You guys, what the heck happened? So let me be honest. Hey, Lise, welcome in. You guys, let me be honest. I actually am not down with the fact that he lost, or I don't know that he lost his job. There's still, what is he? He's out on administrative leave or paid leave or something along those lines. So he is getting paid. So that's good. However, we're going to look at it real quick. So let's see. Harlot shared. Oh wait, hold on. And I think Cuff You. You guys are so good. You all share. Oh. Hold on, I didn't realize it would come on twice. All right, let me share this with you guys because I want you guys to see this real quick. I don't know if all of you saw this. Most of you probably have, but just in case, I do want to show you because I thought that this was like, ick a little bit. I don't like, and those of you that know me a little bit know that I am so not into like messing with somebody's livelihood. So I'm actually not about him losing his job, even if I totally believe that he knew Mackenzie drove and smoked and he knew she smoked, in my opinion, and he probably smokes, in my opinion. But I'm okay with that. Watch, I hope the Archdiocese don't come for me tomorrow. No, I'm kidding. I'm okay with him saying that, is what I'm saying. I think what he does is he actually admits to us that they didn't have control over her. And part of me big part of me feels like that was on them. So I do feel like that. I do feel like they're responsible largely for the way Makenzie turned out. However, I don't think people should lose their job. I think he was, like he said, and again, we're going to listen to it real quick. We're not going to listen to the whole, well, it's only 11 minutes. Let's listen to it real quick so he could tell you. So this
in
is
the
TMZ.
documentary, there is a lot about marijuana, that your daughter had used marijuana and that you, at least the way it was portrayed, didn't have a problem. And it seems that this could, and that it may have contributed to the crash. So, because remember, she apparently didn't even try to apply the brakes, and she was going extremely fast. So, on the marijuana side, which seems to be pretty relevant, what do you say about that?
In the documentary, that is part of a longer answer. That was one part of, and I can't remember what the question. Documentary had felt the need to put that in there. I just
Sorry about that. Thank you so much for letting me know, Cuff You, because I don't know why, but I didn't see that. I don't know if I just accidentally hit something, but we're back. Mackenzie's dad right here, I'll rewind it a tiny bit, but only this part, you guys, he says that he didn't know Makenzie smoked, only he said he didn't say that, only he does, right? So he definitely does. Oh no, I'm back. Okay, good. You guys are still there. Thank you so much for hanging in there. It wouldn't be a stream if something crazy didn't happen. Thank you again, Cuff You, because I wouldn't have noticed if you didn't, at least not for another minute or so. So thank you.
My answer wasn't, my answer, how to explain this, wasn't in support of marijuana, and it wasn't saying I'm smoking marijuana. What I was saying is that who am I to say who can smoke and who can't smoke? Now, I never allowed my daughter to smoke marijuana. How was I stopping her? You know, she was, couldn't lock her up in her room. I'm not quite sure where there's a problem with what I said. It was never, hey, everybody go smoke marijuana. Hey, you should, you know, it's, I don't understand why the documentary felt the need to put that in.
Okay, so I get his point here. So what he tries to tell us here, you guys, is that, and we always have to hit like over here, and make sure you guys like my stuff too, and subscribe if you can. That would be so helpful. I didn't leave. Thank you, Andrea, for not leaving yourself. I don't know what happened there. But this is where I want you, wait, I'll be listening in the car for a little bit. Oh, please don't comment while driving, Alexa. We'll hold your spot. Don't worry. You just drive safely. What's up, a wise woman? Welcome in, y'all. Welcome in, y'all. I'm so excited. All of you are here. So this is where, okay, so he definitely lies here. He probably should have rewatched these parts of the interview before he came on TMZ, because we all know that it only takes a second to go back and look. And the thing is, thank you, Lex. He says, it's not like I said that it's okay for her, or that it's okay for whatever. And that's exactly what he said. However, what do you guys feel about, didn't he buy her that car? Right? You know? Oh, good, Alexa. Maybe your daughter will know not to smoke, and not to smoke and drive, and not to take advantage of you, and all the other things that Makenzie does with her parents. And you guys, this wouldn't be a stream if Thor didn't take a long-ass drink. He literally does not do that at any other time. I swear I'm not lying. Like, I mean, I'm sure he does. He obviously drinks, but he'll like go take like 2-second sip, and every time I go live, he's like, you would think we never ever gave him water. He's like, are you talking about me? He's looking at me. Thor boy. He's looking at me like, oh, she's talking about me. So anyway, with her dad, you guys.
In there, I don't know what the relevance was to my daughter in this accident she was in.
Right. We should also say that, and this is made clear in the documentary, that at the time of the crash, they didn't find any evidence of marijuana or any other drugs in her system.
How bizarre is it that we're watching something that wants there to be drugs in the system? Isn't that strange, right? What's up, Just Me? Isn't that strange, you guys? Like, normally you're like, oh, like, normally you would say, my daughter didn't, it might have came up in her system, but it was from days before she wasn't driving. Here, they want her to be driving and smoking because then it would have been vehicular side instead of reckless, or not reckless. What did they give her? Aggravated. I think it's called aggravated.
That's not necessarily true.
They found
some traces of marijuana in her system. There was 3 markers for it, and 2 of the markers were inactive, and the third one could have said OMVI. That's in the detective notes, or that was in the discovery that we saw. And when we found out that they did not want to charge her with OMVI, they wanted to charge her with murder. So there was some marijuana in her system.
Okay.
Now, one of their experts said that you couldn't.
Doesn't it look like he's like thinking of exactly what he said? I think I don't know. Where's the mother at here? Why isn't she micromanaging like she usually does?
Prove OMVI with it. So I don't know what the truth is, but she did have some marijuana in her system.
Can we go back to something you said earlier, which is, who am I to say what my daughter can and can't smoke? But she was 17 years old at the time. And so there are a lot of people who are...
Have you ever smoked?
I have,
When you were younger?
Yeah.
I'm not with my daughter all the time. All I can do is tell my daughter, don't do it, don't do this.
But did you?
Idea.
You may have. I'm just curious. Did you actually tell her that? Did you have talks with her about it?
Yes, I've told her.
Only he didn't, because you guys, I don't know if you remember, and maybe we have to do this next, but we have the text messages between Makenzie and her dad, and in the same messages where she asks him to make her warm milk. Do you guys remember that? Like, a lot. In those same ones, she jokes around with him, and she even says something about thing 1 and thing 2 or something. Like, she jokes around a lot. He even at one point, my memory is so good that I'm literally, when I just said the text messages with her and her dad and the warm milk, I literally can see in my head him saying he doesn't like to eat his weed. He likes to smoke it. Do you guys remember that? I bet you that's in there.
I have told her many times. Okay. Now I had no idea she was smoking in the car like that from the videos. That was new to me. I understand. I knew she did it, but I couldn't stop her. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to lock her up in a room? All I can do is teach her, don't do this. You're going to get in trouble, or this is going to happen, or something. That's all I can do. I'm a dad.
Had he have locked her up in her room, she might not be locked up in jail.
Curious, Steve, this case obviously got a lot of attention at the time. Her trial did, and I'm sure you were speaking out in her defense at that point. What changed? I'm curious what the school said to you. What they saw specifically in the documentary.
The school said that the diocese. This came. My understanding is it came from the diocese. They got inundated with some phone calls from concerned parents, and they decided to put me on administrative paid leave until they did an investigation. And that's what I've been told.
Okay, I did speed that up a little bit because they talk really slow. But here the dad is saying, you guys, the Archdiocese, just so you know, is who oversees all the Catholic schools in the country. So when they say amen to that, right? When they say Archdiocese, that's what they're talking about. What's up, are you Sunny now? Come on in, you guys. Let me see who's here so I could say hi to you.
And supposedly they're doing an investigation, and that's all I know. So that's what I was told, and blah, blah, blah. Now the internet has gone absolutely crazy about stuff, and that's, now you guys are calling. So
and I get your point, too, that you cannot stop a 17-year-old who wants to get marijuana from smoking it. But the one thing you could do, and maybe I'm not reading this right, so you tell me, is make it so she can't drive a car. Take the keys away. Don't allow her to drive. What about that?
Mind you, I had no idea she was driving and smoking. Now, I got a daughter who's 17, almost going to be 18. If I'd have known, I would have had issue with it. I would have had huge issues with it, but I didn't know.
Let me tell you where this looks bad for him. Part of the reason that you could argue that he didn't know is because she didn't live with him anymore. They allowed her to go live with her boyfriend while she was still in high school. You know what I mean? Like, come on. So I did see you guys say something. Oh, Tony says they're both enablers and never taught their daughter to take any accountability for anything, in my opinion. That's exactly my opinion as well. And I think that that's really important, right? Like, we can't overlook that. When you don't give your kids boundaries within the home, it's hard for them to then go out into the real world and keep boundaries in the real world, right? So you have to have them at home first. So let's just finish this up and I'm going to get over to those text messages. I just had to look at this because I didn't agree with the fact that he's, that he might lose his job over this. However, and I do agree that they probably did interview him for days and that they only do put in a few minutes, right? Oh, we have a gift. Wow. Thank you so much, Miss Marissa. Yes, thank you for the jewels. That was so kind. I appreciate you. Thank you. So let's hear what he says.
I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you.
So I'm curious, when the school says that they're going an investigation, I would imagine, I hope that they're going to speak to you at some point. Is this about your parenting or is this about your defending your daughter?
I have no idea. They have not spoke to me. I've called the diocese asking for. I asked to have a conversation, but in theory, I would hope they would support me like I've supported that school for the past 7 years. I mean,
So I agree with that too. The unfortunate thing is, and we all know, I've told you guys my story with the priest and that, embezzled $1 million from my high school and then was a predator with my friend and all that stuff. So you guys know how I feel about all that. But unfortunately, I don't think that the archdiocese necessarily will have his back, only because, let's be real, they're having their own backs, right? First. So the archdiocese, and this is just my opinion based off of my experience going to school for 12 years in Catholic school, and having a predator priest as my principal and the perpetrator of my friend's ongoing abuse for multiple years, which he ends his life at the end of that. So rest in peace, Arthur. And we are going to go over his story eventually. I really want to get into that. Maybe I could get his mom or his sister on, or his dad or something, so that they could speak. They articulate his story so well.
I don't know why they didn't speak to me first or bring me in and have a conversation with me. I mean, that's their decision. I mean, all I am is one of their teachers, I have no idea. You have to talk to the diocese for that kind of answer.
So this is clearly not just the events and the prosecution of your daughter, but the documentary itself. It just must have turned your life upside down.
I think it's more what I said about the marijuana. I think that's where it's going. I've seen a lot online that I'm saying they're going, okay, it's okay to smoke marijuana. You can go smoke marijuana, and I smoke marijuana. If the diocese wants to test me every day, they can test me, and I won't have any marijuana in my system. I can promise you that.
Do you think that there was?
Maybe that's the answer, right? Test him. And if he truly doesn't have marijuana in his system, for anybody that's ever smoked marijuana, you know that, especially if you're more than a pound overweight, it literally is stored in your fat cells. So it could stay in your system for up to 30 days. So it's not like something that he could have done the day before the interview and then get tested 2 days later and it not show up. So if he, and this is the thing, right? That's actually even more concerning, because then, was it that he stopped smoking after Makenzie left, or did he not smoke and just supported her? I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
When you watched back the documentary, you said that you sat for 2 days with the producers. Yes. I'm sure there was a lot that was said. How do you feel about did you watch the final product? Was it a fair depiction of what you said?
I did say what I said, but I think a lot of stuff is taken out of context, and we had a lot to say about what we think Makenzie's innocence is in this, and that made me sound. There's more to it than just the 4, 5, 6 sound bites they had of us. unfortunately, we had no editing, or we didn't have any of the control of the editing. They did what they saw fit. This is their product. They were very upfront with us when they spoke to us. And am I completely happy with how it came out? There's some things I like, and there's some things I don't like. I mean, and we've got a lot.
He pretty much basically tells them, he like literally gives Crime Circus a plug here. He's like, and he tells everybody to go to the Free Makenzie page. So I do think that was interesting, right? And Cuffy says, I actually agree with her dad. Probably not a popular opinion. I do too. That's what I'm saying as far as, I don't think that this is necessarily something that someone loses their job over, especially if he's able to show that he doesn't have any marijuana in his system. I do think that it was a stupid thing to say though, but let's be honest, if we were mic'd up for, hours over 2 days, there's probably something that we would say that we would want to take back, or that could be taken out of context, and I don't know how much you could take out of context, somebody saying that, I don't care if she smokes or if I smoke, like, I don't know how much I could get taken out of context, but I get what he's saying. With that being said, Ember, just so you guys know, is listening at the car wash. Wow, Ember, when I'm at the car wash in Philly, if I'm listening to a podcast, oh my God, that would be they would be like, what is she doing? So maybe you're in the car wash where you go through it. I'm thinking of the one where you have to do it yourself.
And we've gotten a lot of support.
I love it though, so thank you.
For her and her innocence in this.
Well, just real quickly, and this is hard to do quickly, but when you say her innocence, explain that, because to most people, she was behind the wheel and
there was no breaking.
Well, yeah, she was. There is zero evidence of intent and prior calculation in this case. There's no evidence. And the only evidence the prosecution actually has is 4.74 seconds of black box information. Your car has a black.
This next part I'm not even going to stay on. He just starts talking about the black box, and then he tells everybody to go over there. I do think it was interesting. Oh wait, this is where you see his eyes. Look at his eyes real quick. This is a little bit shady-ish.
And
he might just be nervous.
Was that the car was... I can't explain the speed. First of all, I have no idea. Nobody's ever going to know what happened in that car. It's not that the car was going fast. It's not that the car crashed. It's why. There's no explanation of why. And the prosecution, even in this documentary, says, look, I turned over every rock. I looked at everything, and I couldn't find anything. So it's murder. So she did it on purpose. This prosecutor, in my opinion, is lazy. It's like the wife dies and they instantly think it's the husband. So there's so much in this case, and there's so
that if there was a
I think what you're saying. I think what you're saying is this sounds more like, at least in your head, vehicular manslaughter than it does murder.
It is vehicular homicide, and it should have never left the juvenile court.
Yeah,
that car was coming down that street at a good clip.
I don't know about that it should have never left juvenile court. What do you guys think about that? Harlot said, oh, Casey, I saw your comment about your daughter knowing that it's your medicine. I think that's good, and I think the least you discuss it with her, the least it'll be a thing. So if you've already told her this is my medicine, and if you see mommy taking whatever you call it, a puff of it, or if you see mommy taking your medicine, you can't be in the same room, that's great. And then just leave it at that, and you don't even need to say anything again. I think sometimes when people put too much emphasis on it, you wind up making it interesting, right? Think about when you were a kid. Think about when you were even a little kid and your mom or dad was like, don't touch the stove, you're going to get burnt. And then they turn around and you're like, because you had to touch it yourself just to get burnt, so you knew they weren't lying. You know what I mean? So sometimes I feel like when we're told don't do that, we're almost like, well, why can't I do that? And they try it. So I think it's good that you tell her that's it and then move on. Then we have Harlot that says, I agree that he can't control what she does when he isn't with her, but I don't like his flippant attitude, as if it's impossible for him to look at her social media or take away her car. So Harlot, ding, 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 ding. Do you guys remember yesterday when we were talking, one of the messages or some of the messages was talking about how Makenzie was like, she tells Rosie that she should tape herself tripping at the Carnival, which is where we're going to start tonight. And Rosie's like, oh, I can't do that. My mom would see it, da 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 da. And then she says to Makenzie to do something. Mackenzie's like, no, my mom would definitely see it too. So how are you, Judge? Do you know what I mean? Like, so how can both things be true? I don't know how Makenzie didn't come up on any of their For You page even, or, or like, think about it. When you're like friends with someone on Instagram, if somebody posts something, it usually comes up. So, and my thing is, I'm surprised that there's not other parents out there right now saying, oh, they knew because I saw it on social media and I said something. I wonder if there's parents like that and if they're going to come out and say something. What do you guys think about that? I'm actually surprised that nobody said it yet. So I don't know. Unless that's what got everybody like heated, is that they heard him say that and they were like, wait, what? But no, I don't know. Now, Harlot, I will say this too, though. Being a mom of 2 kids that grew up with social media, I do know that every time I wanted to see what they were doing, I reminded myself that I had to be careful because I didn't want them to think that I didn't trust their decisions, but at the same time, they also knew that it wasn't them I didn't trust it was other people that I don't trust. At the same time, I tried to monitor what they did on social media and this was always a great trick for me, and you guys could do the same trick too by finding somebody else, anybody, but my students, like, they would act like they just saw my kid on like social media and like they would befriend them, and then they would look out for me. And there was only like once or twice that they told me to look, and both times I knew what was happening. Like I was actually not part of it, like, but my kids told me like, oh mom, I'm gonna post this, blah blah blah. So, but I was like, thank you for looking out. So I guess what I'm saying is, even if I took my kids' phones and I were to look at their social media, I knew that, just like, I always go back to the Chris Watts thing with this. Chris Watts literally had that calculator app that I don't think most of us knew about. And if you use it like a calculator, it works like a calculator app. It's only when you put in the secret code that it opens up and shows you what's behind it. So even, some parents that really do, like, I feel like kids know how to stay 2 steps ahead of us. So that goes back to, okay, well, what was the difference between my kids and Makenzie Shrilla? And the difference there is accountability and having rules and regulations. And I also have communication. So there's 4 different parenting styles, right? So there's authoritative, authoritarian, permissive, and uninvolved. And I think I've gone over these before with you guys, but uninvolved is obviously what it says. Permissive parenting is one of the things that I think we see here with Makenzie and her mom, especially. The fact that they have their own little language, and again, this is all just my opinion, but the fact that they have their own little language, they're almost more like friends. So when you have permissive parenting, you have all communication, no rules and regulation, and that's what I'm seeing here. There's also authoritarian parenting where it's all rules and regulations and no communication. So they're the parents that are like, do what I said because I said it. Like, these are the rules. Like, you wouldn't even think to ask this parent why or how come, or so-and-so's parent, like, you would never bring that up with this parent. And then the one that you want to be someday, if you ever are a parent, is authoritative, right? So this is the parent that has both rules and regulations and communication. So I would think that the difference here between me and my daughters versus Natalie and hers is 100%, in my opinion, the lack of rules and regulations in her household, that lack of expectations. We even see this, and I could say my opinion here, but it doesn't take, someone to be educated to hear. When I literally, look, you guys, I have notes. So for the next time we do her jailhouse calls with her mom, I have things that I wrote down, and there's just so many instances here where her mom is like, oh, Makenzie, you're just so wise, like stuff like that. And she'll be like, you're so smart, and you help people all the time. And like, her mom just like blows smoke up her ass. And I feel like even times where Makenzie like tries to hold herself accountable words wise, not necessarily in actions, her mom even then will be like, oh, but no, Makenzie, like, you didn't do, like, da da da. And they're the ones, it's all them, it's always somebody else, it's never her. What's up? Just call me Heidi. Thank you for coming. So, and she lets Makenzie talk about the fake lawyer. Well, that's what Makenzie calls him. She says, you're a fake. Oh, she lets Makenzie talk about Miss Russo, which was horrible. It was horrible. She was alleging that Miss Russo was drunk on the stand. I was like, that is so disrespectful. I couldn't believe that her mom even allowed her to say that. Had my kid even started to say that, I would have been like, yo, like, I know you might be upset with this, like, but you don't say stuff like that. That's not cool, right? So that's important too. Thank you, Bertie. I appreciate that.
I don't know if, I'm assuming you have no idea what the road looks like, but the road has a little bend in it towards the end. The car hit a dip in the road that's giant and dangerous, and we've got all kind of video of this dip. And when I went through it at a good clip, my car went flying. There's bottom out marks in the cement. The city just fixed it this year, over the summer last year. They finally filled this giant hole in. Before the car hit the building, before the car crossed the road, the car thought it was flipping over. There was our car expert. Sorry, I'm just trying to get my thoughts straight while I'm saying this.
Okay.
Our car expert said the car thought it was flipping over. At about 5 or 6 seconds prior, there was the car system or felt the car go to the right, yanked on the right. And this is about the time where that dip was. The car safety features thought the car was flipping over and deployed both side airbags. And our car expert, and this is 4 or 5 seconds prior to her crossing the road, even before hitting the building.
Wow, thank you so much, Bertie. And who else was it? Oh, Bertie, thank you twice. There you go. Wow, thank you so much. That is so generous of you. I appreciate you. You guys, he's making excuses for her, but are you Sonny, right? Don't you think, in your opinion or my opinion or of our opinions, don't you think that, like, why would he want to do that? So why would you want to do that? Because by doing that, that makes him look like a better parent, right? So by failing her in this instance, or by him admitting that his daughter most likely, for whatever reason, made a really bad decision, right? Like a fatal one. And instead of just saying that and being like, look, what my daughter did was wrong, and I'm going to help her do whatever she can to turn her life around, that's not what happens. Ella, thank you, Ella. Wow, you guys, thank you. I don't know how these Jules things work. I tried to like look on my thing, like they don't really tell you on the analytics. So I'm gonna look it up because I don't really know how this works yet. All I know is that I gifted some to someone the other day because I had them and I'm like, YouTube gives them to me, I might as well. Oh my God, Harlot, thank you. Wow, that is so kind of you. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate that. And I do, if anybody knows how they work, like, let me know, but I'm going to look it up too, because like, see how right now it didn't really change. Like I put a goal up there and it didn't change the goal. That's annoying, right? Because I feel like you guys are trying to help me in the best way that you can. So I feel like, you know, there should be credit for that too. I don't know. So we'll see what happens. I'll figure out how it works. Thank you so much.
He said the black box turned on and started recording, which is nonlinear. So the prosecution has only 4.74 seconds of information from when the box turned on to the accident. They have no idea, absolutely no idea what that car was doing other than going fast, which is reckless, from when she turned on the road. So there's so much more to this than what the prosecution put forth. We have we have contradictory evidence about things that were said in the court. But there's nothing that says prior content or prior calculation, and there's no intent.
You know what? We're out of time, but we hear your point. I mean, your point is that you need to show intent in order to prosecute somebody for murder, and you're saying that this feels to you like the most they could show is reckless, is vehicular manslaughter.
In her not pressing the brake, is that intent. Now, again,
we get it. I get it. So look, we are out of time. We really appreciate it. I know it's hard for you, but we appreciate you coming on.
Well, I hope you look into more of my daughter's innocence and maybe go to the Free Makenzie Schrolla page or Crime Circus.
Yeah, he definitely did. And how funny was it that they just like pushed him off pretty much? They were like, well, we gotta go. Casey, thank you so much. That was so very generous of you. I do appreciate you guys. You have no idea. So thank you. It reminds me of TikTok, right? You guys, doesn't TikTok do that where you have to like buy bunches of like jewels and stuff and you give people, are they like trying, I guess, be something like that? I don't know. I guess we'll find out. But you guys, so again, with the dad, as soon as we hung up last night from our live, I saw this breaking news that the dad went on TMZ and I had to watch it and I was like, Oh my God. Just me. Thank you, just me. You guys, that is so sweet. I appreciate you so very much. Wait, Ella says that she didn't get 1,000 jewels for free. Ella, I think you do. Is it on? Wait, hold on, Ella. I think you do. Ella, go to, if you're on, I could see it on my phone. If you go to your phone and you go to where the chat is and you click on the gift next to it, it'll have like different things. It'll say like to send this or that. But look above that where the X is, where you would exit out. And right next to that is that like I that you hover over. But right there, it'll tell you that you have 1,000 jewels left. Or whatever. Like if you've gifted some, it'll tell you I have 900 left. So there you go. But see if you can find it there. I don't know if it's just on your... Oh, you said you must have gotten them. You just don't... Because you don't remember buying them. Yeah, you did. Everybody gets 1,000 of them. I don't know how much they're worth. Like, I don't know what that equates to, but I appreciate just the thought that you guys are helping me. You know what I mean? It just makes me feel like I'm doing this for a reason. And that you guys, you know, I guess coming here shows me that you guys want this too. So that's all. But let me share my screen with you so that we could see the messages. So where we're going to pick up from. Oh my God. Thank you. Just me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Just me just sent jewels too. Lisa says she doesn't have any jewels. Lisa, go to the gift thing. Did you go to the gift I said emoji, the gift where you could click on it and see. Lisa says she never got any for free. Check on your phone. Make sure you're on the phone. A wise woman. Thank you. Wow, you guys. You guys are so sweet. Thank you. Oh my God. Thank you. I feel so special when I come in here, you guys. It's amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so here we go, you guys. Are we ready for this? So let me tell you real quick what's going to, well, let me make this bigger so you can see it as well. And I think I have to go down further. Or no, did I go too far? I went all the way down. Hold on. We have to go like halfway. I know where we left off. It was like 6 something. Let me see. We left off. Oh, I have it on a different thing, so I don't have it at the exact thing, but I remember it was like 7:10. I have a really good memory. Just in case you guys don't remember me saying that all the time. I don't know why I say it all the time. Oh no, your daughter's playing in mud. Isn't that like what being a kid is though? Right? So let her play in the mud. Who cares? It sucks that you have to clean it up after though. Especially if she like drags it through the house. But other than that, let her have fun. You know what I mean? So, oh my gosh, you guys, I just went backwards to get to 7:14, which I think is, we're like around there, because I remember saying it was my husband's birthday the one day. Let me see. They were going to, yeah, I think we're good. They were going to the Carnival. So let's see. So we'll go to 15. All right, let me see if I could go down this way. It might be quicker. Page down. Oh no, it didn't let me do it. Oh wait. Nope, didn't let me do it. No, I don't want to make edits. All right, I'm just going to scroll down until I get to 7:15. Because I believe that's when they go to the carnival, if I remember correctly. 7:15. Oh yeah, because there goes her thing, and she says that they should trip. Remember that? It's all coming back to me now. Oh, that's weird. I'd never seen this. Oh, that's weird. I don't think I ever saw that, where it had it on both. I might have just done that by accident somehow. I'm going to go to the carnival before today. You should come. So this is it, you guys. So 7:15 is where we left off. So here we go. Let's pick up from where we left off. Oh, this is where we left off. That's why it's like that. Oh my God. Duh. Anyway. So on 7:15, she's telling Makenzie that Bubba gets off work at 7. Makenzie tells her they're going to trip. She says, I'm so excited. So she's so excited. They're going to trip. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Birdie. Thank you, Birdie. You guys are so amazing. Thank you. So she says, you guys, you ready for this? Ready for this shit? Makenzie says, I'm gonna go to the carnival before today, so you should come. I'm gonna go to the carnival before today. What the fuck does that mean? And Rosie says, me and Bubba just went yesterday to experience it sober. Oh my God. And then Makenzie says, you want to go again? Let me know. And Rosie says, okay, bet. Should we try to go off the shrooms? Haha. And Makenzie says, yes, me and Dom want to go both times. We love the carnival. And Rosie says, okay, bet. Makenzie, it's so funny being around people tripping. Also, I want to do a shoot at the staircase. You would love it, in capital. I'm going to try to make a picture of it, but it's like an unused building in Strongsville. But there's hella vines on the staircase. It's so vibey. And Rosie says, oh, yes. And then Makenzie sends a pic and says, it's on that building, but you can't really tell. Rosie says, bet, yeah, we can take pics there soon. Makenzie says, bet, because I have nothing to post after tomorrow. How about that? Rosie says, yes. And then we get back to Makenzie. Oh, what did I just do? Oh, there we go. And then Rosie says, wait, can we please meditate when we're tripping? And Makenzie says, oh my God, yes, I want to try. Yes. And then Rosie says, yes. Paul said he's going to take under a gram. Makenzie says, sounds so fun. Rosie says, I was like, bro, laughing my ass off. Makenzie, I don't think he should. Look at Makenzie trying to be the street pharmacist. What's up, A. Higgins? Makenzie says, do you know what I'm going to text him? And Rosie says, I told him at least 1.5 grams. He was like, no. And Makenzie says, I'm going to tell him to take at least 1. And then she says 3. And Rosie says, ha ha ha, yes, convince him. And Makenzie says, I did. Oh my gosh, he's taking more. What a bad influence. Also, check Snap, she says. And Rosie says, ha ha, good. And then Makenzie, come to the carnival at 3. Rosie, I'm just going to go later with everyone. I went yesterday and got food and left after like 10 minutes. I get bored. And Makenzie says, did you go on that big ass ride? She says, no. Makenzie says, me and Dom will probably get wristbands because we want to ride that shit later. And Rosie says, I didn't go on none. Makenzie says, bro, it's so fun. Rosie says, yes, that is so fun. Makenzie, the only ride I didn't go on was the top tower. And Rosie says, dead. Makenzie, like, I will never go on that motherfucker. That's what she said. And Rosie says, OMFG. I went on that one last year. Makenzie, you should probably fuck with... What? You should probably fuck with a hang glider ride. And Rosie says, the last carnival ride ever. And Makenzie says, hell no. Rosie says, been on that one. Makenzie, I would never go on that, especially after someone just died on one. And Rosie says, OMFG. So scary. LMAFO. And Makenzie says, it's actually really chill. You would fuck with it. I don't think you would like any of the other rides, though. And want to go to the fun house? Faux show? Makenzie says, you would probably like the one that goes up and dropped you, but it's kind of like a circular motion. Oh, that would make me throw up, you guys. And then she says, me and Nina went in. And then she says, bruh, no. Rosie says, tripping in there is going to be geeked, in caps. Makenzie in caps. Was ass. We can go again. And Rosie laughs. Makenzie, you will see how ass it is. And then it says, it's not like it was before. Rosie says, I'm dead. They need new shit. It looks like the same as last year. I'm bored. Makenzie says, back. And she says, and get a better fun house. And games. Bruh, I need to show you this TikTok. Rosie says, oh my God, the games were so crowded too. And Makenzie shows her the TikTok. Oh my gosh, you guys, I think it's the TikTok that we saw yesterday where she says that she can be any kind of, like any kind of girl that you want. Remember? And she does the one where she's like the hippie girl and the this girl. And remember I said I wanted to make a short where I put at the end, now she's a jail girl too. I should do that still. Makenzie says, and to be honest, it makes me mad that they still do the fish. What? Because you're how many fish? What? Ew. It says how many fish I've seen thrown from a ride or eaten. What? Who throws fish from a ride? Do you know how many? And Rosie says, oh my God, gross. Why are people weird, bruh? Oh my God, I love that TikTok, all in caps. And then she says, such a good idea. It looks so good. Makenzie says, laughing my ass off. It better go viral. Aww. Oh my God, Birdie. Oh my God, you guys. Oh, I know A. Higgins. They put it together that day. Birdie says about the Carney. Remember her and her mom have that talk? They say that that's like Carney talk, right? But it's like their own rendition of it. Which I don't know about you guys, but I feel like you can hear exactly what she's saying if you listen to it a few times, no matter what it is. Like, I feel like if you go back, you could catch words, and then depending on what mom or her says right after, you can pretty much put it together. But then there's also people that decoded it as well. Wow, Ella sent me a party hat. Thank you, Ella. I love me a party hat. Yes. So that was so generous. Thank you. So then Rosie says, it literally will. Baddie hot Cheeto girl, I'm dead. Remember she said hot Cheeto girl? And then Makenzie says, one is low-key booming on my backup right now too. Laughing my ass off. And Rosie says, yes. Makenzie says, it took so many scrawny in the hot Cheeto one. Ugh. Rosie says, bro, when you were banned yesterday, your baby cushy account was on my For You page like 3 times every time I opened TikTok. Okay, Makenzie says, like, I fit the part good AF. So she fits the part good AF. And then she says, no way. And Rosie says, ha ha ha, I'm dead. Makenzie, same with you, by the way. That's like a compliment for each other. It's like, hey, Birdie, I saw you came up on my For You page 5 times. It's like a compliment. Like, I guess instead of saying like, oh, you look so pretty in that, it's like, oh, you came up on my For You page 4 times, girl. It's like, same to you. I don't know, it's just crazy. Anyway, so Makenzie says, you're vibed all over. Oh, your video is all over my For You page. And Rosie says, oh my God, work. We're famous. And Makenzie says, I need to hit 100,000. Rosie, so do I, you guys. I need to hit 100,000 too. So if you can hit me up with a subscribe, that would be fabulous. You know what I mean? Rosie says, yes, you will. And then she says, you should try scripting with that. When I was popping on YouTube, I was manifesting by writing every day. I have, however, many followers or subscribers for this video, got this many views. It works like a charm. So she says, I have, however, many followers or subscribers, or this video got this many views. It works like a charm. Makenzie says, brah, keep manifesting. I'm manifesting my account back right now. And Rosie said, yes, I haven't scripted in so long. I feel like that works the best. And Makenzie says, I usually would write on paper, then burn it. And Rosie says, brah, my mom's literally going to the Carnival tonight. And then she's, oh my gosh, you guys, could you imagine tripping with your mom there? And then she sends her an audio message that I bet you we could hear. It was probably in one of the audio messages that we listened to yesterday. And then Rosie says, I feel like they're old and don't stay out past 9 though. I want to go so bad. I'm nervous they'll LMAFL. So Makenzie sends an audio back. Rosie says, Bubba's almost home. Then we have to go to put his dad's car from the shop real quick. Then you guys could come. And then now it is 7:30, and Rosie says, coming to, laughing LMFAO, do you care? And then Makenzie says, bet. Rosie says, also, I don't know how many shroomies I need because me and Bubba tripped like 4 days ago. But yeah, bring enough shrooms for all of us. Paul and Dave, laughing my ass off, we should all have cash. I have some. I'm excited. Fuck it. Except my mom and stepdad haven't gone yet, in capital letters. Run away if I see my mom. Laugh out loud. Makenzie says, how much do you and Bubba want? And Rosie says, I don't know. I took 2 and he took 3. Oh no, Bubba took 3 grams. That's almost an eighth, isn't it? Isn't 3.5 grams an eighth? Not that I know the recipe, but. So Rosie says, I don't know. I took 2 and he took 3 last time. But since it was 4 days ago, does that mean that I need more? Or can I take the same amount? Maybe 2 for me? And Makenzie says, probably a little more. And Rosie says, man, then I don't even know. And Makenzie says 2.5 and 3.5. And Rosie says, whatever you think is good for me. What? And then she says, sure. So Makenzie says, took over 2 grams, question mark. And Rosie says, I think I took 2.5 last time. Makenzie says, oh, then just do 2.5 at least. Can't go wrong with it. And Rosie says, and 2 the first time. Makenzie says, was your trip too strong on 2.5? And Rosie says, we got to go get some Kit Kats too. Okay. Bet, yeah, it was fine. And Makenzie says, yeah, then you should be fine to take that much or even more. I tripped balls, says Rosie, but it was nice. I think the first time was the most because I was confused. Yes. And Makenzie says, laughing my ass off, bet. Well, we'll get you right. And Rosie says, then we'll all take them here, then go to the carnival. Makenzie says, yes. Rosie, bet. Makenzie, when should we come? Rosie says, I'm still waiting for Bubba to get home and we're going to go get his car real quick. She already did say that, right? Hey, Fancy Nancy. And then Rosie says, maybe in like 30. Makenzie, okay, bet. Let me know. Rosie says, okay, Bubba said yes to 3.5 and Davion wants 2.5. Was Davion tripping that night, you guys? They never told us if Dom or Davion was tripping, right? They just said that Makenzie wasn't. And then Makenzie says, how much does Paul? Rosie said he told you. I don't know what he said when you talked to him. Makenzie says, yeah, we're coming. We're about to go back home right now. Rosie says, and bring what you're going to eat it with. I'm going to get myself a Kit Kat and a Get-Go real quick. Makenzie says the carnival is packed. Rosie, oh shit, laughing my ass off. Okay, wait 1 sec though. Bubba's picking up Dave. So then Makenzie said, wait, he's picking up Dave. Davion? I thought he was staying with Makenzie and Dom. I don't know. Well, Fancy Nancy says it's been a day, but now you're here with us, Fancy Nancy, so whatever happened today, it's going to be okay. At least that's what I try to tell myself. Okay. We're not going to your house right now. We're leaving the carnival. So Makenzie went to the carnival all day and then comes back. I don't know Bubba's address. So Rosie says bet and says it's on the Raccoon Trail and then gives her what she thinks is the numbers. Makenzie says, okay, bet. Rosie says, I'm at the light right by the carnival right now. Hella people. That's fried. Many people walking. Just families, laughing my ass off. Oh my gosh, bitch, you were just right next to me at the light by the high school. By the high school and Dad. I think she might have meant something different. Makenzie laughs and says, for real, I wish I seen you. How much do you want? She just asked her. And I could have told her 2.5, right? Did you guys remember that you wanted 2.5? Let's take a guess. What does Bubba want? 3.5? Come on. So then she says 2.5. I saw your sparkly license plate and I knew. And is 20 good for the 2.5? I'm at Bubba's, so you can come now. And Makenzie says, bet. We're about to come. I'm excited. Rosie says, bet, Joey's here too. I don't know if he's tripping. Makenzie says, ask, because we're not going back for him. And then Rosie says, you're good. Okay, he said no. Makenzie says, whose car are we taking to the fair if we go? Laughing my ass off. And then Makenzie says, clown car AF. Oh, yeah, wow. And then Rosie says, true, I don't know. There's so many of us. Makenzie says, I mean, I could do 4 in my back, maybe 5. We'll figure this out. Like, you would need to be on Bubba's lap. And Rosie says, laughing my ass off, we'll figure it out. Bet. Makenzie says, OFW, is that un or effing way? And then she says, send the Addy again. And then she sends the address, and Makenzie says, here. Rosie says, come through the front. By the gliders. Makenzie says, we're coming. And then she says, where you at? We are right in front. And Rosie says, in line. It wraps around, so I'm like right behind it. Oh, you guys, okay, so let me go back here real quick. So right now, they must have met at Bubba's, and now it's almost 10 o'clock at night, and Mackenzie's asking, where are you at? So they were at Bubba's. Let me see what time that was. They got to Bubba's. She's telling her to go around by the glider, so it must have been at like 8:56, and so I guess they were there for what, an hour, because now it's 9:56 pretty much. And yeah, it is 9:55, and Rosie says that she's in line. It wraps around, so I'm like behind it. At the end of it, we gonna go sit. And Makenzie says, we back. You sure you guys don't want to ride? And Rosie says, yes, laughing my ass off. Both like, we need to sit. We're having a grand time on this bench. And Makenzie says, bet. I'll find you when we're done. And Rosie says, have fun on that. And then she says, hi. And Makenzie says, where you at? Where you at? We just got off the ride. And Rosie says, fuck, I'm like not feeling too hot. And then she says, walking by the Mitchells. And Makenzie says, all right. Oh my God, did you guys see how she wrote all right? She wrote all and then right. All right, do you want us to come? Or do you want to be alone? And Rosie says, it's just too much with all the people and sounds like shit. So I'm so much better over here. Have fun. I'm with Bubba. And tell Paul, because he's texting me. And Makenzie says, do you want us to come? She just said no, she's with Bubba. Like, she does not listen. So then Rosie says, actually, if you want, we found this sitting area. It's actually nice. To me, at least. And then she laughs. And then she sends her a picture, and Makenzie says, where you at? And now it's 10:30. She says, can you see the Ferris wheel? And Rosie says, behind Michael's. No. But, oh, she said, I think she meant bitch. Bitch, we're going to go walk home right now. Laughing my ass off. I don't think it'll take too long. And Makenzie says, should we dip? Rosie says, well, they close at 8. So maybe just ride a few last rides. And Makenzie says, we'll come get you and we can all go back. And Rosie says, why? It's like not far. And Makenzie says, girl. Rosie says, we're going. We're fine. Like, trust. And then she says, before us. It's so fun. It's just down Pearl. And Makenzie says, we're coming. Rosie says, having a great time. Makenzie says, so you can just come with us if you want. Or you can keep walking. She literally told her 12 times that she wants to walk. And Rosie says, if you want to drive to Bubba's, you can get in his house. Shit's always unlocked. And then she says, but yes. We walking. It's nice and it feels good. Makenzie says, okay, we're waiting for them. And then we're going to leave. Rosie says, okay. Makenzie again, where you at? Now it's 11. Rosie says, okay, go through the garage. Makenzie says, I know. How long are... Wait. She says, how long? And are you good? And Rosie says, in his development. Makenzie, okay, good. It's raining. And then at 11:17, she writes, yo, I had such a good time. Oh, okay, so at 11:15, she writes, yo. And then they must have seen each other because now it skips to 7:16 at 4:55 a.m. I had such a good time. Again, ASAP. And Rosie says, same, it was so fun. And Makenzie says, what time does Nina start? And Rosie tells her at 4. Makenzie says, Bet, what are you wearing? And should I post that TikTok I made right now? And Rosie says, Bet, and yes, I love it. And then, Rosie sends her that video. Remember the one we watched of them tripping? That was probably when this is from. And then Makenzie says, laughing my ass off, are you going to wear a dress? And Rosie says, I don't know. I'm just going to go home. I'm in a rush and pick out whatever I find. Makenzie says, feeling, I'm tired AF. And Rosie says, same. Makenzie says, so drained right now. I want to go to the Carnival, though, tonight. And Rosie says, yeah, same. She said her party ends at 10. Makenzie says, damn, might leave early because my mom also going for the fireworks. Are you going now? And Makenzie still says, we ought to go. And Rosie says, yeah, we're going to go in a second. And Makenzie says, what's BDY? Someone has to let me know what BDY is. And then Makenzie says, Bet, where you at? Oh my gosh, she says where you at too much. It's 4:35, and I think they said the party started at 4. And Rosie says, we're trying to park. And Makenzie says, fireworks at 10. Oh my God. So it now jumps to 8:50. And then Rosie says at 8:52, oh no. Okay, I'll let you know. Makenzie says, we're here right now. It was almost 9 o'clock. And then she says, are you coming? At 10. And Rosie says, no, but we just saw them all, laughing my ass off. I just got to Esville when they're going off, so we pulled over and we watched. And Makenzie says, what time should we link up to take pictures tonight? So now it's the next day. Okay? So she says the weather is fucked though. Dom, deadass, just tried to kill me. What? What? She does say bet way too much. You guys, on 7/17, I'm writing this down because I want to see if it matches up with the other text. Remember the text between her and Dom? So it says, Dom, deadass, just tried to kill me. And that was on 7/17/22. So that was like literally, you guys, that was 2 weeks before. Literally 2 weeks. That was 14 days before. Oh my God. All right, let's see what she said. Okay, so this is at 1:09 p.m. So 1 in the afternoon. Dom Deadass tried to kill me. And then she says, hit me up when you get up. So I remembered what HMU meant, you guys. Hit me up. It was DDY or BDY. Oh, let's see. It was, because I do want to know what that was, because I do remember after. She said, does anybody remember what it was? It's right here. I'll find it. Oh, it's right here, I think. BDY. BDY. I don't know. Let's see we'll see if somebody knows. Last night we had people telling us, and I did remember what hit me up was. So there you go. At least we'll remember. Okay. Oh, Daddy. Just called me Heidi. Says I think she's lying to get sympathy from people, and it probably didn't even happen like that. You're probably right. Just call me Heidi. Who knows? Who knows? What was the entire sentence? It wasn't a wise woman. It just said BDY. So I don't know. It could stand for body. I don't know. We'll have to look it up or ask one of my kids when they come down. So Makenzie says, are you coming? This is at, oh wait, I want to go back to where she said, oh, I didn't go far enough. Dom just, okay. So then she says, hit me up when you're up. And then Rosie at 3:40 says, oh my God, sorry, I've been slumped. What the fuck? And then I wish I could see what these attachments are. They're attachments of text messages. And Makenzie says, so I guess maybe they talked on the phone or something, or no, was that the same day? It's the same day. So Makenzie says, do you want to shoot today? I don't care if it's raining. I feel like it will give a cool vibe, but it's up to you since you have the camera. And Rosie says, do you want to just go Tuesday or Wednesday? I feel like it would be miserable in the rain. LMFAO. And Makenzie says, and tell me why here we go. And tell me why I was driving with Dom and we got in an argument and he tried to grab my steering wheel and turned me off the road on the highway. What? Oh, pull up. Oh, PU is in pickup. It's pull up. There you go. It definitely is pull up. You're absolutely right. Oh my God, you guys, I have to write this one down too. So then same day at 3:41, she explains. And okay, but this is the only thing. So doesn't he apologize for it? Like, this is my thing. I totally think she's in the wrong. I think she's where she should be. But I also think that two things can be true. Could it be that, they threatened each other with many things? Makenzie threatened him not every other day, but every time they got into a fight, she would be like, if you don't get out of my car, I'm calling the cops. Or if you don't do this, I'm calling the cops. So, I don't know. Oh, you said it's probably body. Okay. So then, I don't know, you guys, but she literally, and I think it was funny. Oh, she's making that up to make him look bad, to get her friends to talk shit with her. So just call me Heidi, though. This is the thing. They were toxic, their relationship, right? So if you go back and you look at the messages between Dom and Makenzie, I believe he apologized to her for it. And he says that if they really ran off the road, that he would have died first or something. Like, I feel like I can remember reading it. And again, I know I say it often, but I have a really good memory. But that doesn't mean that she didn't also threaten him with something as well, right? So just because the one doesn't mean that both things can't be true. But I see what you're saying. She could be making it up. The only part that gets me about the making it up part is that she also says it to his mom, and then he apologizes for it later on. So that's all. But either way, it doesn't make her any less wrong, right, for what she did. So then she says, Rosie says, bruh. And Makenzie says, yeah, we can do it another day. And Rosie says, oh my God, I'm so glad you're okay. What the fuck? And then Makenzie says, yeah, we're seriously fighting real bad right now. I can't believe he literally tried to kill me. And Rosie says, yeah, what the fuck? And Makenzie says, if you want to hang today, let me know. I have a joint. And then Rosie says, okay, I'll let you know. And Makenzie says, I'll probably smoke it soon, though. Rosie says, oh shit, okay, I might go back to sleep. I'm so tired. I haven't had a full night's sleep since before tripping. Might stay up. Are you at home? And Makenzie says, yes. I'm just chilling right now. And Rosie says, I have to take Bubba a pen to his work. He just got his cart and it hasn't worked. Okay, want to hang for a little? Makenzie says, yeah, do you want to come here? Rosie says, I'll go to Bubba's work after. Yeah, sure. I love your house. Makenzie says, bet. Rosie, Mommy, precious baby gray. I don't know what that means. And Makenzie says, I hate my house. LOL, yes. And Rosie says, his Insta, he is so cute, in caps. Makenzie says, my mom is literally trying to make a baby. A baby gray, famous. So I believe this is one of the animals. What's a baby gray? Do you guys know what type of animal that is? Isn't that bad that I don't know? Sorry, I'm from Philadelphia. It's like the concrete jungle here. We don't have a whole lot of animals. Except for like dogs and cats and, house pets. Anyway. Rosie says they're everything. Oh, a parrot. Maybe, yeah, there you go. And then Makenzie says, I'll wait to smoke then with you. And so that's the thing, you guys. Okay? African gray. I don't know. What did she say it was? She's trying to make a baby gray famous. I don't know what that means. And then Makenzie said, oh, it's a parrot, a type of bird. Okay. It's a bird. So then Makenzie says, I'll wait to smoke with you. That's the thing, you guys, right? Oh, a cockatiel is a bird. That's right. It probably is a cockatiel, wise woman. Oh, wow. You had an African gray named Tootie? Oh, no way. And Daniel, how cute. That is so cute. All right, so Rosie says, I didn't know he looked like that. He's so funny, adorable. Now I'll be there in like 15 minutes. And Makenzie says, you just inspired me to go find her. But just text me when you're here, or you can just walk in. And Rosie says, yes, and okay, perf, instead of perfect, I guess. Just Call Me Heidi says, he could have touched the wheel to get her to stop doing whatever she was doing. I did not let my kids drive at 16 just because they can doesn't mean they should. Amen to that, Heidi. Ain't that the truth, right? And that could be true, you know what I mean? And we all know, I mean, nobody really knows because we aren't in the car. But I think I think that we're going to get more as far as, the justice for Dom that he deserves and Davion. But I think we do that by being honest, right? And part of that honesty is that they had a toxic relationship. And he was mean to her sometimes, but that doesn't mean that he deserved anything that happened. He deserved to move on with someone who was more compatible with him. That's what he deserved. So he didn't deserve any of the things that he got. I don't think that they obviously weren't meant to be together, right? So next she says, I'm going to Allison's, but I'll be home in like 5 minutes. So I'll pull up because we know what PU means now. There you go. And Rosie says, okay, bet. About to leave, and Makenzie says, bet. You want a fruit? You want fruit? And Rosie says, oh my God. And then she says, always. Makenzie, okay, bet. This person's making me so mad. Driving 27 in a 35. Oh, no, she didn't. Like, is she serious? So then Rosie says, oh my God, I hate that. I'm here. Makenzie, bet, coming. Then Rosie sends her a screenshot. Makenzie says, should we shoot tonight? At the Eden? And Rosie says, Mia said Wednesday works for her. But do you want to hang with me and Nina for a little? You should let me braid your hair. Makenzie says, I'm down when you want to hang. Also, Grace want to hang today too. So there you go. We're at 7:18. I want to go to the beach Wednesday. It's going to be 92. We should go to Mentor. Then we can go shoot at night. And Rosie says, actually, Nina's shopping right now. Maybe when she's done. But yes, Wednesday we can do the beach during the day and shoot at night. I want to vlog. Like, they do a lot of stuff, don't they? I mean, good for them. But they're always doing stuff. And then Makenzie says, that would be such a good vibe too. Rosie, yes, I want to vlog more. Makenzie says, okay, bet, because I want to wear my new Skims bikini. And then she says, bro, you inspired me to start. I feel like people won't watch though. And Rosie says, oh my God. Also, I'm going to go through all my clothes and get rid of shit I don't wear. And my mom said she'll buy me Skims. You guys, I remembered that from when we were watching something the other day. There you go. I do have a good memory. And then she says, you need to vlog. Start your YouTube right now. And Makenzie says, really, bitch? And Rosie says, yes. Makenzie, then you could do Skims haul. Rosie says, yes, I know. And then Makenzie says, and then you will understand how fun it is to get the rare colors. And then Rosie says, don't even know what to get. Oh my God. And Makenzie, you're literally going to be obsessed. Get the set I wear. And then Rosie says, going to wear it every day. Makenzie says, the shorts and the tank, I don't care if you get the same as me. It'll be cute. We can twin. And then Rosie sends screenshots of Skims, which we saw yesterday. We saw all the things that we looked through yesterday in that folder was related to Rosie and Makenzie's text messages. It was all of the attachments. So then Makenzie says, yes. And Rosie, yes, this is what I put in my cart. It's just the basic ones that I like. Maybe I'll get some of those. Makenzie says, literally, all of those are perfect. Then she says, these people are so shallow, right? Seriously. I was just making sure I'm looking at yourself. Ain't that the Kardashian product? Yes, it is. So do you guys remember? And she says like, Kim Kardashian herself. And then she also tries to get them to like, get her to model their clothes. What's up, Truth? My girl. So then Rosie says, I low-key want the leggings. Oh my God. And then she says, I love the boxer shorts. Like those I love the boxer shorts. Like those in for sure, I'm for sure getting. Makenzie says, I have them too. Rosie with a matching top. Makenzie, but the leggings are so good for like the fall and shit. And Rosie says, yes, right? Makenzie, it's literally just perfect for fall. You low-key should get a dress too. Rosie says, I know, right? And it seems so comfy. I'm so excited. Yeah, which one is the one? Dress. And Makenzie says, do you want me to send it to you? And Rosie says, yes, please. I'm going to vlog cleaning out my closet too. And Makenzie says, I will show you the good stuff. Low-key, I want to help you clean your closet. And Rosie says, but I don't know what to title the video, like getting rid of hella clothes maybe. I can sell them. And Makenzie says, you gotta elevate your fashion. We should try to get to Paris Fashion Week or some sort of fashion week. You guys, she just said we should go to Paris Fashion Week. Is she serious? And then she says, make one of those accounts or just sell them on Snap. And then Rosie says, yes, I was just going for it today and get rid of all the shitty things. Exactly. And then she says, my mom sells shit on eBay, but I think I could get more money if I sell it on Insta or Depop or something. And then Makenzie says, Depop takes so much money. I was going to sell my old prom dress on there and they were going to take over $100 from the dress. And Rosie says, oh my God, why? And Makenzie says, you should see how much they take before you list the item. And Rosie says, they suck them. They suck then, bro. And Makenzie says, honestly, I have no idea why they do that because I wish I could sell my shit, but I don't want any sites taking money. Meanwhile, how the hell are they going to make money? And then Rosie says, maybe I'll just do an Insta. Yeah, I always see people selling on Depop. And then Makenzie sends all these Skims dresses, pictures of them. And then she says, the Nordstrom at Beechwood Mall, Haskins. And Rosie says, yes. Makenzie says, has Skims. Rosie, oh my God, no way. Makenzie, the dress and basic sets, we can go. Rosie says, oh my God, yes. And Makenzie says they close at 6. Rosie says, bet. But I can't buy anything till I get rid of my clothes. Mackenzie's always trying to do things right away. Makenzie says, I can drive if you want. Like, no, thank you. And then she says, we can go any day. And Rosie says, before the beach. Want to go on Wednesday? And Makenzie says, you're about to be addicted to Beechwood. And then Rosie says, I know. That's where I bought my Gucci. But I've only been there once. Makenzie says something, but it's redacted. Then Rosie says, I only went inside Saks We have to go. Makenzie says, they have this other store with Von Dutch. Rosie, let's go Wednesday before the beach so I have hella vlog content. Oh my God. And then Makenzie says, I'm down. Rosie, period. So fun right now. And Makenzie says, what time should we go? Because the UV index is highest between 12 and 2. Rosie, we should pull up to the mall when they open so we can get an early start. Makenzie says, bet. Rosie says they probably open at like 10 and we can spend like 2 hours there, then go to the beach. Perfect. Makenzie says, literally fucking perfect. What time is Nina going to be home? Rosie says, yes, I'm so excited. She said she'll let me know. And then Makenzie says, I can see if Dom can roll us a little joint. I talked to him, but it's still bad. Oh, I talked to him, but it's still bad, so it's the next day. And Rosie says, yeah, oh my God, you need to update me. Yes, oh, so sorry. And Makenzie says, yeah, but it's like weird. I don't even know. I'll tell you in person. He was like talking shit about my mom for some reason. But I was talking shit about his mom. But like my mom literally has never done anything to him. Rosie says, okay, and this is good though, because Bubba's going out of town Wednesday and Thursday, so now I have stuff to do. And then she says, bruh, his mom was being rude. Your mom's so sweet. Like, how do you even find something bad to say when his mom's telling you to stop lying and shit? And Makenzie says, so I guess the mom did call her a liar. There you go. So then Makenzie said, he was literally just saying she's a bum. And literally makes less than his mom. Like, what the fuck? Like, why are you trying to dog my mom? She's trying to make a lot of money, too. Everyone's trying to make it. I felt bad. And being out of town, so I have something to do. I feel so alone when Dom's gone. Laugh out loud. And Rosie says, yeah, what the F? That's so annoying. Just uncalled for. And Makenzie says, yeah, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with him. Rosie, he's got like mood swings. Laughing my effing ass off. And Makenzie says, it's funny because Paul was telling me he's bipolar and he's a Libra. And then all I could think about was Dom. I feel like all Libra men are the same. And then, wait, is Libra October? Because I didn't have it. I had a Libra boyfriend for like 10 years and it just did not work out right. Anyway, so I'm sure it's a coincidence. Oh, it is? That's so funny. So then Rosie says, LMFAO. And then she says, damn Libras. And Makenzie says, for real, I hate them except Paul. Let me know when you guys want to hang. Have you been to Whip's Ledges? Rosie says, haha, same. And no, what is that? And yes, I'll text you when Nina's home. Makenzie says, it's cool. We should smoke there. Want Dom to roll us a joint? Davion randomly unadded me. You guys, I don't remember that part. And then she says, and I don't know why, it's not because of Dom. Does anybody remember this? Yeah, my boyfriend was October 18th, so that's funny. You're a 10-10 Libra. That's so funny. That's funny. So Davion randomly unadded me. She says that on 7/18. I want to go back to her text with Dom too to see if she's asked Dom anything about that. I'm gonna write Davion unadded me. All right, and I'll look that up later. And then she says, I don't know why. It's not because of Dom. And then Rosie says, oh my God, weird. And yeah, if you want, but Nina still hasn't texted me. Laugh out loud. I have her location. She's still shopping. She's getting dorm stuff. Makenzie says, ask her how long she's going to be. I'm not trying to be at Whip Ledges at night. Laugh out loud. It's too scary. And Rosie says, oh my God, oh no. Ugh, Nina said she can't today actually. She's shopping for another hour and then writing thank you notes. What? And then Makenzie said, we could always just smoke at my house. You want to smoke still? Rosie says, yeah, sure. And then she says, putting them in bags and then I can. Wait, no, I missed the part. Rosie says, I finished getting rid of clothes. Let me finish putting them in bags and then I can. Makenzie says, okay, bet. I just have to wait for Dom to get home to roll us a joint. And then she says, bet. Did you get rid of Hella? Oh my gosh, she's like a lot, right? And then Rosie says, okay, and yes, oh my God, I'll show you. Make him roll us a fat ass one. And then she says, I'm dead. I love making the boyfriend, sorry. I love making the boyfriends roll for us. Or you could just roll yourself and learn how to do it better than the boys. How about that? And then Makenzie says, bro, I'm so mad at Dom right now. And then she said, he lied to me. You can come to Dom's if you want. Meanwhile, she's like, I'm so mad at Dom, he lied to me, but you can come over. And then she said, we can take dabs. And Rosie said, it's okay. And she sends like the bags of clothes. And then Makenzie says, you don't want to come? And Rosie says, should I? Makenzie, bro, that's so much. Yes, you can come. And Rosie said, okay. That must have been awkward. And then she said, haha, period. And here you go. Makenzie said, he lied to me, so I'ma smoke all his dabs. Wow. Rosie said, but yeah, hella clothes. Can I come now? Makenzie says, yes. Rosie said, period. Makenzie says, let me know when you're here. Rosie, okay, I'm coming. Makenzie, I'm going to try to make myself an egg. It's embarrassing, but I don't know how to. Oh my gosh, you guys. And then Rosie says to eat. Ooh, not an egg. I hate eggs. And then Makenzie says, yes, laugh out loud. I like the gooey. And then Rosie says, haha, I'm done with eggs. I'm done with the eggs. Bro. And then she says, bro, again. I used to love them. And Makenzie says, true, is that like vegan to you? And Rosie says, I'm such a hater. Yes. Like, I'm almost vegan if I didn't eat cheese. And Makenzie said, I only eat them when they're grass-fed, free-range, no hormones. Cheese just to snack. And then Rosie says, I only will cave for the Waffle House cheesy eggs. And then she says, they're insane. And then Makenzie says, I won't make them then. I don't want to smell when you come because I would hate that. And Rosie says, haha, no, you're okay. And Makenzie says, I'm weird as fuck with smells. And Rosie says, I'm good with the smell. Makenzie says, dude, you can try sea moss. And then Rosie says, oh my God, yes. Makenzie says, do you want Chipotle? I'll make Dom get you some too. And Rosie says, I'm okay. Makenzie says, bet. Rosie says, I'm here. And then Makenzie says, bet, just come to the back door. Rosie says, do they have the Skims dress in person at the mall? And then Makenzie says, yes. Last time I was there, they did. They probably have even more now. And Rosie says, and can you send me that breakfast oatmeal that you let me try? It was gas. Where do you get it from? She says, should I get it? And Makenzie says, LOL, yes, Whole Foods, yes. And then she said, what the fuck, you need it. And then Rosie says, maybe I should wear it to your birthday party if I get a black long one. Or is that too casual? Is that too casual? Like a really expensive Skims dress. And then Rosie says, what should I wear for your birthday? Makenzie says, no, you would slay. Rosie says, okay, oh my God, period. Makenzie says, Skims baddie AF. Rosie says, I'll get it if it's at the mall. Makenzie, yeah, they have bodysuits and stuff too. Rosie says, imagine the pics we would get at your birthday dinner. Oh, that's a shame because they never got to do that, right? And then she says, yes. And Makenzie says, that's what I'm saying. The pictures are going to be so fire. I don't care if people are staring. Rosie says, I'll just order the bone set online for now. And then she says, yes. Makenzie says, oh my God, yes, do a haul. Rosie says, and then get the dress on Wednesday. Makenzie, do a green screen over the purchase. And like, I'm going to review this when it comes. Wait, do a green screen over the purchase and be like, I'm going to review this when it comes. And then Rosie says, yes. Makenzie says, and then you can post a video when it comes and people will be hyped. And Rosie says, I will, yes. Makenzie says, I'm excited AF. Rosie says, same. Makenzie, do you have a fake ID? Club? Wait, do you have a fake ID? After my birthday, do you want to go to the club? So you guys, this is another thing, right? Makenzie is talking actively about her birthday and her birthday party and her birthday outfit. And this is one of the things that Rosie did say on the Netflix thing, was that, you know, she didn't think that Makenzie was like suicidal or whatever because she had all these plans for her birthday and was so excited and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. I think it might have been something that happens in the moment. Maybe they get into a fight. Makenzie like makes some kind of, I don't know, and this is just my opinion, some kind of like threat, like if you do that, I'll do this type thing, and then just follows through, unfortunately. I don't know what you guys think though. True says, Mackenzie's the type that would order 5 different things, take a bite of each thing, and then say she's full. Seriously, right? And cost you like $500 in the meantime. So then Makenzie asks if she wants to go to the club after her birthday. And then she says, do you want to go to an abandoned building today? And Rosie says, nah, I don't have one. I wish I could get one. So she's talking about, wait, hold on. Gianna said, wait, my daughter just asked me, can you please put the air up? I have 2 fans going in my room. I'm so hot. I'm live, but you can. What? These kids are too much. Can you put the air up? She's lucky I didn't make it hotter, because that's what I thought she meant. Put the air up. Get the hell out. So then, which I will anyway. But, so then Rosie says, no, I don't have one. I wish I could get one, meaning the fake ID. And then she says, get in without, and I'm good for today. I just had my facial. It got me so tired, and I have to film that self-tape. Laughing my ass off. So then Makenzie says, if this one guy is there, we could get you in without it. And Rosie says, I hope he's there. I think I would love the club. And Makenzie says, dude, it's insane. Rosie says, it sounds so fun. Makenzie, but we're at Whole Foods right now. If you want to go to the abandoned building, let me know. I'll text you when we're going. And Rosie says, okay. Makenzie says, we're going in a second. Oh my gosh. So this is at 2 p.m. You guys want to come? And Rosie says, I have to do this self-tape right now. And Makenzie says, oh, for that casting? And Rosie says, and it's so hot, so I'm good, but we should go swimming later. And she says, yes. It's so embarrassing. And Makenzie says, I'm down to swim. Girl, no, you're about to get paid. And Rosie says, I have to show them my hands. What? And then Makenzie says, just give yourself a model manicure before. Where are you trying to swim? Rosie says, yes, I have to. And then she says, I have a pool in my development. And Makenzie says, brah, bet. And then Rosie says, if you want to go there, Nina said she would come. And Makenzie says, yes, I'm down AF. Rosie, after work, so like 6-ish. Makenzie says, we will be back before then. And then Rosie, she gets off at 5, but it takes her a long time. Bet. It's still 7:19, you guys. My daughter's birthday. So then Makenzie says, just keep me updated. Rosie says, okay. Makenzie, is Dom allowed to come or is it just girls? And then Rosie says, Nina's leaving work now. Probably just girls if that's okay with you. I told you hurry home. And then she said her, so she meant to say I told her how young. And then Makenzie says, I don't care. Yeah, that's cool. That's what I thought, to be honest. I just wanted to make sure. And then Rosie said, yes, Makenzie, I'll bring the roach. Who the hell wants to smoke a roach? And then Rosie says, do you want me to pick you up, or can you pull up to my pool whenever you want? And then she says, yes. And Makenzie says, if you want to pick me up, you can, but I don't want to make you waste gas. And Rosie says, it's okay, I have to get Nina anyway because her goofy ass can't drive. Makenzie says, where does she live? Close? Rosie, yeah, she's down the street from me. It's okay, we'll come get you. And Makenzie says, okay, what time are you scooping? And Rosie says, whenever Nina's home. Makenzie, okay, bet, just let me know. And then she says, scoop from Dom's. Rosie says, okay, coming. And this is at 6 o'clock. And Makenzie says, bet. Rosie, I'm here. Bruh, not TikTok trying to ban me. And Makenzie says, come in. And then she said, what, in caps? No way. And then Rosie showing her the text. And then Makenzie, what the F got taken down? Rosie says, literally, not one video that's inappropriate. The most recent is me singing Taylor Swift. Stupid shit, I hate them. People keep reporting. And Makenzie says, what did he get taken down for? Put your account on private. And Rosie says, doesn't that defeat the purpose if you put your account on private? So then Rosie says, this video, hold on, Thor, this video of me in a bikini top and shorts singing Taylor Swift, so annoying. And so Makenzie says, WTF. Rosie, and the one of me responding to remember when you were skinny comment, and I literally said no skinny. I put my big ass t-shirt in, and Makenzie says someone's definitely targeting, and Rosie says Sam. Makenzie says definitely go private. And then Rosie says all the fatties. Bruh, I don't know, I've never been private. Makenzie says for real, weird hoes, it's not bad. It protects you for a little. And Rosie says, oh, bet, I might, but they're also so weird on my account. They say I'm banned, but it still let me post. And in one section, it says you're blocked from posting, and then it says you may be blocked after the next one, another tab. And then she says, I don't understand their stupid ass app. Makenzie says, it's probably because it's run by, oh no. What? She says it's probably because it's run by Asians. That's terrible. And then she says, oh, that's so weird. It opens at 11 a.m. Rosie says, laughing my fucking ass off, like, come on now. Okay, bet. Makenzie says, want to wake up at 10? It's still the same day. Rosie says, yes. Makenzie says, bet. Rosie, I'm so excited. I'm getting that Skims dress ASAP. Makenzie says, beach by 12 or 1. And Rosie, yes. Makenzie, you're going to look so good in that. In it, they'll let you try it on too. And Rosie says, oh my God, yes. And then Makenzie says, how far are you? Oh, hit me up when you're up. So now it's the next day. It's 7:20 at 9:40. Makenzie gets up really early, don't they? She says, hit me up when you're up. And then she said, skimmy time. Are we going to the beach right after Beachwood? Or are we going to go home first? Either way works for me. And Rosie says, we can just go after, if that works. So tired though. And Makenzie says, bet. Yeah, that was a better idea because we're just close to it. Rosie says, but anything for Miss Kim Kardashian, anything for Miss Kim. And then Makenzie says, drink some coffee. Rosie, yeah, purr. Makenzie, I can bring some. Rosie, I don't like caffeine. It's so addictive, you guys. And then Makenzie says, oh, true. That's actually good, by the way. Oh, wait, that's actually good, to be honest. That's what it says. And then Rosie says, yeah, me and Nina don't drink it. Oh, her and Nina are close, aren't they? Makenzie says, damn, that makes me not want to. Laughing my ass off, I'm about to go get ready right now. Rosie says, yeah, you shouldn't. I tell my mom she's addicted to coffee. LMFAO. Yes, same. Want to go in like 30? And Makenzie says, I'll probably be ready before you. I feel like, so whenever I'm ready, I'll text you. If you're ready, we can just go. And Rosie says, okay, bet. Who should drive? Makenzie says, our parents are addicted to a lot of things, like sugar and processed foods and caffeine. I can drive if you want. You always drive, but it's up to you. Rosie says, yeah, for real. That's cool. Thank you. Makenzie says, okay, bet. And then Rosie, I vlogged today. And then she says, but fuck the weather. It says it's going to rain, bruh, from 5 to 10. Makenzie says, okay, I'm ready right now. And Rosie says, oh shit, 1 sec, I'm slow. Makenzie, fuck, well, at least we can still go to the beach. We might have to rain check the effing pictures at Eden, though. Oh, hold on, you guys. I have to let Thor out real quick. Or he's just gonna bark, 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 bark. 1 sec. Hold on, Thor boy. Okay, I'm back. And I turned the air down for Jay. Because I'm a nice mom. Okay. Back to where I left off. Let me tell Jay I fixed it. I did it. Alright, back to this. Okay, you guys hanging in there? Yous are good. Oh, what's up, Calissa? Calissa says, many people who knew Kenzie believe she pushed the girl who fell down the stairs at the party. She may have died if Dom didn't insist on calling 911. Wow. Calissa, if you look on my videos, so like, but wait till after we're done because you have to stay here with us, right? But if you look on my videos after we're done, I have a video and it's just them talking about the stairs incident. So it's like, remember when Mackenzie's like, for all you people who did illegal things that we let you do at the party, go fuck yourself. Remember that whole thing? And she makes it sound like you should be happy because we let you do illegal things. That was so weird. But it's in my videos. It's like a couple minutes long, but it's worth it. Yes, you have to listen to it, Calissa. It's literally them talking about it. And Dom at one point tells Makenzie, and I don't remember if this was in voice or, through text, but he literally tells her, he's like, Makenzie, you have to stop talking about this. Like, and he says, his mom says too, like, stop talking about this. So, and his mom's a lawyer, so I could see why. So then Rosie says, taking my morning pill still. And this is 7:20 at 10:14. I should just wait until I let Allie back in because I have a feeling she's going to bark any second. She's like, I think she's sick, you guys. And then she goes to the vet all the time. So she's getting like care. But remember I told you she has diabetes? She like lost 12 pounds in a month. Like my husband took her because he's like, Jamie, you don't notice. Like, I'm like, no. I was like, she did lose a little bit, but she didn't lose that much. Oh my God, you guys, she lost 12 pounds. I was like, oh yeah. I felt like such a bad dog mom. I'm like, he's like, of course, if Thor would have like dropped or gained 1/10 of a pound, you would have been like, my handsome man. Diabetes will do that. Yeah, that sucks, hey Higgins. I feel so bad because you want to help them and you don't really know what to do. Oh, Alexa has The ultra rapid metabolizing gene? What the hell's that? What? Oh, your ADHD meds. You can take half to get the same effect as a full dose. Get out. Wow. Oh, yes, Truth. That's exactly how she says it. So Truth says, because Makenzie does say something like paraphrasing, she says, how dare you come to my party, buy rugs for my boyfriend while you're underage and then blame us? When you fuck up, what happens? That's literally exactly what she says, just in different words. Like, she literally, that is exactly what I heard or understood her to say too. So, oh, A. Higgins, that's right. Oh, you had behavioral health genetic testing done. I had genetic testing done, and because of Gianna's leg, and I wanted to know when I had my second daughter what the chances were of the same thing happening, because that really did play into an effect of whether I was going to have another child. I knew Gianna had a really tough upbringing. Now that I know what I know now, if I had to give somebody else advice, I'd say do it anyway, regardless. But I got genetic testing to find out that I have no gene, neither does my husband, that answers what Gianna has. However, I did find out that I'm a carrier of sickle cell anemia. So how about that? You just never know. I don't have it. I'm a carrier. So if I was in Africa and there was like an outbreak of malaria, I'd be okay. But that's about it, because I'm not having any more kids, so I don't have to worry about that. You are type 2. Oh, a wise woman. You better be careful. I'm going to come kick your ass. I don't know where you live, but I'm going to come yell at you. Please be careful. We need you to be wise here. Do you know what I mean? So we need you healthy, kind of, right? I mean, we'll take you unhealthy too, but I'd rather have you healthy if we could choose. Just saying. Okay, so then Makenzie says, I get ready fast. It's not your fault, laughing out loud. Rosie says, haha, okay, yeah, the rain's being so annoying. I'm ready. And then she sends a screenshot and says, also, do you think this will work? Her goofy ass sent a picture of the back of her card. And Makenzie says, honestly, I don't know. Oh, I remember this, you guys. So what she's talking about is Rosie and Makenzie are going to go buy that Skims outfit. And Rosie's mom said that if she got rid of her clothes and like did her, got rid of her old stuff, that she would buy her something with Skims. So now it's the day to go. And Rosie asks her mom for the money. And I think it's that her mom wasn't home or something. So her mom's like, duh, like, I'll just send you a picture of the card. Like, just show them the picture of the card. Do you guys remember, like, years and years ago when they would take the card? First of all, they had the one thing where they would be like, they would, go, and they would, like, take, like, not a picture. It took, like, an ink thing over it, like an imprint. And then sometimes they would write it down and stuff. I'm like, meanwhile, Rosie was like so embarrassed because her mom sends her with a picture of her credit card. Hold on one second, guys. Let me just grab Ellie. Hold on, Ellie. Thor came in too, so that's good. So now I don't have to go back and get Thor. I got him to come in by bribing him with a treat. So there you go. Thank you guys for waiting. Okay. Makenzie, so we're at 7/20/22, so it's 11 days before the accident. Okay. She says, honestly, I don't know. You could call and ask. I've never done that before because I always use cash. Okay? Rosie says, because I'll just bring my card, but there's barely any money on it, and that's why I asked her to transfer, and she just sends me a pic, laughing my ass off, And Makenzie says, yeah, just have her do a transfer. That's what my mom always does if she's paying. If you guys have the same card company, it should be easy. I'm about to go to Dom's right now, and then whenever you're ready, just let me know. I'll take however long you need. Rosie says, I'm ready, you could come. So that was literally at the same time. And Makenzie says, okay, cool, I'm gonna come get you now. Rosie says, okay, do you know my Addie? And then she gives her address. Makenzie says, yeah, I'll be there in like 10 minutes. And then Rosie says, bet. Makenzie, here. Rosie says, here. So let's see, is there a time difference? Yes, so Makenzie says here at 10:42 a.m. I guess they do their thing. And then Rosie says here at 6:47 p.m. Makenzie says, come in. Rosie says, can Mia get ready with us? And Makenzie says, yes, of course. The more the better, laugh out loud. And Rosie says, okay, bet. And then Makenzie says, is she close? So this 7:21 now it's still 8:15 p.m. And then she says, oh, perfect. Rosie says, she's getting dropped off at my house. Nina's here too right now. Makenzie says, I'm sorry I'm taking so long. And then Rosie says, and then I can drive us over to you when you're home. It's okay. And Makenzie says, they told me about dinner literally at 3. And then she said, will do. Rosie says, ha ha ha, you're okay. Makenzie says, and I'll bring the bud and a fatty. Rosie says, thank you. Yes. Sounds yum. Your food looked bust too. Makenzie says, about to come. And then she says, I'll let you know when I'm home. Rosie says, okay. Makenzie, you can come through in like 5 minutes. Rosie says, okay, bet. And then Makenzie says, I'm at Dom's getting a joint and bud. And then Rosie says, bet. Makenzie, I'm gonna go get Sophia. Then I'm gonna be home. So I'm like 15 minutes out. You can just pull up if you want. I'll be fast. Rosie says, okay, we're coming. Sorry, we just pulled out of my driveway. We can wait for you. And Makenzie says, okay, bet. Rosie, and then we just need to get ready, like makeup. And Nina wants a wig. I'm dead. Makenzie says, yes, bro, I have a ton. Rosie says, yes, I'm hyped. And then she says, we're here. Makenzie at 9:30 says, bet, I'm about to be home. Rosie says, okay. Makenzie tells her to come in and says, Mia is asking me to hang. Do you want to hang with us? So now it's the next day. So I guess the three of them hung out the night before. And now Mia the next day asks Makenzie if she wants to hang out. So it's 2:30 in the afternoon. Rosie says, I was about to go to Bubba's work. Do you guys want to go? And Makenzie says, honestly, I don't know what we're trying to do. I just want to be outside. Mia's asking if I know any cute places outside. She wants to take pics. And Rosie says, bro, no way. And then she says, Bubba's stupid mom wants to leave at 3 a.m. I'm leaving for the Outer Banks tonight, in caps. And I have to drive, bruh. And then she says, I literally thought it was tomorrow. This is fucked up. Like, when am I supposed to sleep? And I'm not even packed. I haven't even thought about what I'm wearing. It's a whole week. And then, and then she sends a picture of her and Bubba, and she's like, oh no. Then Makenzie says, bro, what the fuck? And then she says, I'll help you make outfits. I can come help whenever. And Rosie says, oh my God, I'll let you know when I'm home. Makenzie says, maybe she wants to leave at 3 a.m. so y'all could get there before check-in. I feel bad AF. Rosie says, yeah, bro. And then she says, this was the worst news from Bubba. Oh no. I'm literally scared. And then, I don't know what it says. It just says, this was the worst news from Bubba. That's it. And then she says, I'm literally scared. And Makenzie says, why won't she tell you? Rosie says, his family is scary, in capital letters. And then Makenzie says, are you driving your car? Or are you driving Bubba's? And she says, yes, mine. Makenzie says, bruh, why they do you like that? And Rosie says, I know, right? Fuck, my aunt's over. But I think it's okay. I'll ask if you guys can come over in like an hour. I'm not getting... Wait. What does she say? I'm getting toward Strongville. Do you want me to come get you? Makenzie says, I will just drive over probably. I feel bad having my friends drive me home. Rosie says, it's okay, whatever you want. I'll let you know when I'm home then. Makenzie says, let me know when you're home. I'll be on the way. And then Rosie says, you can come. Makenzie, okay, bet. I'm about to be on the way. And then she says, on my way. I'm here. Do I just walk in? And then Rosie says, I'll come. It's probably locked. And Makenzie says, how far? So now it's, oh yeah, we're 7:13, still in 7:22. She says, bet. Rosie says, on your street. Here. And then Makenzie says, bet, coming. And then Rosie says, can me and Bubba get Bud from Dom? We got like $90. Makenzie says, yeah, I can meet you at my house probably. And then she says, do you want the best shit? How far? And Rosie says, okay, bet, we're leaving. We're leaving Jay's and getting Chick-fil-A. So we can in like 45 minutes. Yes. And then Makenzie says, just let me know when you're close. I'm getting it right now. Rosie says, okay, bet, thanks. We finna sleep. And then, what are you doing tonight, says Makenzie. Oh, and then I think, okay, so Makenzie says, what are you doing tonight? And Rosie says, we're gonna sleep, is what I think she meant. We're gonna sleep until we leave. And then Makenzie says, I was gonna say you could come kick it. And Rosie says, it's ass. I'm nervous. And Makenzie says, Joey and Davion are still here, LOL. Don't be. And Rosie says, laughing my fucking ass off, I'd rather. Maybe we will. And then Makenzie says, it's a fun drive. Rosie says, for a minute. Makenzie, it will tire you out. Rosie, yeah, purr. And then Makenzie says, let me know if you want to chill. Rosie says, bet we will. Makenzie, oh, definitely. Wait, oh, bet. Then you can come to Dom's. And then she says, just let me know when you're close. And Rosie says, okay, bet. Do you care if I eat my Chick-fil-A there? Laughing my fucking ass off. And Makenzie says, no, of course you can. Rosie says, okay, bet. I'll just come right after I get it. Makenzie says, bet. We eating right now too. And then Rosie says, bet. And then she says, here. And now we skip to 7:26. So that was 7:22. So now we skip 4 days. And Makenzie texts Rosie and says that the lady in the mall was telling us about. What's the store? Like, that has the Von Dutch. It starts with an X or something. She said it starts with an, did she mean like EX or an X? And then she says Bubba's sister modeled for them. Meanwhile, she's on vacation. Leave her alone. And then Rosie says, it's like exhibition. And Makenzie says, oh, bae, I'm going to check it out, maybe. I'll let you know how it is. And then Rosie says, bet. Then she says, wait, I have to tell you some wild shit. Makenzie says, bro, I just went into the store and they literally have no real clothes. Oh, she wrote clothes. CLOSE. And then Rosie says, bruh, what the F? Makenzie says, right? They also don't have any Von Dutch. Rosie says, what do they have? Trash? Makenzie says, just like, dude, shit purple jeans and some shoes. And then she says, we're about to hit some other stores though. Rosie says, so dumb. Let me know where you find good stuff. And Makenzie says, yeah, you're going to need to come back with me. I got green ones from the one I'm going to. Oh, she's talking about Jordan ones. They're nice too. I know what she's talking about. And then Rosie says, oh, yes. Makenzie says, are Paul's parents going to be there? Rosie says, no, they're gone. So then Makenzie says, do you think it's cool to trip there? So it's 7:30, you guys. It's the day before. Oh, wait, when did we? All right, so they talked on 7:26, but I think Rosie was still away. And then on 7:30, she said, are Paul's parents going to be there? Rosie says, no, they're gone. Makenzie says, do you think it's cool to trip there? So it's the night before. We're getting close to the end, you guys. So then Rosie says, yeah. Makenzie says, okay, I'm trusting you. Rosie says his parents aren't tweaks like Bubba's. Are they still together, her and Bubba? And then she says, they would probably let him have people over. Makenzie says, does he have an outside? Can we sit or lay that we could sit or lay in? Dude, not for nothing, but if my 17-year-old and her friends came over to lay, like, get the frig out. Go lay somewhere else. And then she says, oh, never mind. I remember Paul's backyard. And Rosie says, big backyard? You were at his graduation party. And then she says, yes. Makenzie says, okay, cool. I'll keep you updated. Rosie says, bet. Makenzie says, what are you doing? So now it's 10:04 p.m. It's getting later. Rosie says, we almost back. Also, can we give you like 40 from some bud too? Oh no, you should come. Makenzie says, we're somewhere else right now, but I don't know if we're going to come yet. Rosie says, I'm going to be at Paul's by 11. Could we still buy from Dom if you guys don't want a trip? You should just come, hang for a little, and smoke or whatever. Makenzie says, okay, bet. Do you need? And then she said, we might come. And Rosie says, me, Paul, Nina, and Bubba need them. Yes. And some bud. And then she says, do you not want a trip? And then she says, did you guys already today at the zoo? Oh my God, do you guys remember the zoo pictures? And then Makenzie says, we're not sure because it's already so late. Dom says, oh, because it's already so late, Dom says. And no, we were going to, but we didn't. And then she said, yeah, we can give you guys that. And Rosie says, bet. And I was going to say, it looked funny as fuck on your story, but you should pull up to Paul's at like 11. I can always pull up if you guys don't wanna. And Makenzie says, we in Parma, but I'll let you know when I'm back. Rosie says, okay. Makenzie says, we are home. Oh, we're on the way home. And this is at 10:30. Rosie says, bet. Makenzie says, we're probably gonna come. Rosie, okay, cool. And we want $40 worth of bud, and Bubba wants 3, and I want 2.5, Nina wants 1.5, and Paul wants 2.5. And then she says Nina claims she wants a gram. And then Makenzie says, bruh, tell her more. And then Rosie says she said 1.5. Makenzie says, okay, be right there. And then Rosie says, okay, we're all at Paul's. Wow, you guys. So now it's 7:22 at 11:22 p.m. Makenzie says, I'm about to come. Rosie says, okay. Makenzie, send me Paul's. I'm on the way. So she sends Paul's address. Bet, says Makenzie. And that's it. So she went to Paul's. It was 11:30 and it's 7:31 that they get into the accident. Wow, that was chilling. I got like goosebumps. Oh, what was that? What just happened? Hold on. All right, let me see something real quick. Okay, so what did you guys think of that? That was crazy, right? Oh, I guess you got to be creative when you're a bored teen in Ohio. Seriously. But you guys, they tripped a lot, didn't they? I mean, I guess maybe not for kids that are like graduating high school. I don't know. But Makenzie was very forceful about, yes, Casey. You can tell, you can tell their kids by all this 1.5, 2.5 BS. You're so right. Oh my God, I love Paul Paul. Oh my God, are you talking about the, when I hear Paul Paul, I think of, what's his name? The one that's getting a new trial. I never covered that case with you guys. He was a hell of a man. The best. And then it said, the best one I ever met. Ella says, so what rugs were they using close to the accident? So, oh, you said not Murda. Oh, I was thinking of Paul Paul. So, Ella, they were using, oh, you're Paul Paul. Oh my God. Stop. I forgot that you guys say Paul Paul too. We say Poppy up here. Poppy Joe was my dad. Or Pop. Anyway, so Ella wants to know what rugs they were using close to the accident. And this is the thing, Ella. Although we just listened to Rosie ask for weed and shrooms a lot. Do you guys think that's why Rosie didn't want to talk to the cops? Because I'm sure they would have asked about it. Especially because that was the night that leads into the accident, right? So, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I would assume, this is just my opinion, who would want to talk to the cops if you know that you were just asking for rugs the night before in a text message and days before that, and that they would get access to your phone and all of your messages. I guess she realized that like there's nothing she could do about the messages that they got from Makenzie's phone, but by not saying anything, she didn't have to answer any of those questions. So this is what I want you to do. Put a 1 in chat if you think that Rosie didn't talk to the cops because of the rugs and the tech stuff. Put a 2 if you think it was for her loyalty to Makenzie. So a 1 if you think she was trying to avoid her own trouble, or 2 if you think it was out of loyalty for Makenzie. I'm curious. Oh, your Paul Paul was your ride or die. He found your... That's so funny. That's funny. He said mine now. That is so funny. Andrea says too. So a couple people still think she did it for Makenzie. And a bunch of you are saying 1. And Kalissa, I don't know why I just said that wrong, says, and they didn't rug test Makenzie for everything until a few days later, from what I can recall. You are recalling correctly. As a matter of fact, I have the phone call where the cops, they call, where do they call? They call like the lab or something, and the cop, like, you know, when you call 911, how you can hear, you know what I mean? Wait, you said 1 because she was more than like, no, she wasn't, Truth. They were eating them. I think Makenzie and Dom like had like the whole, like, I think they were taking them, to be honest with you. But that's just my opinion. Let's see. So let's see. Return. Hold on. Let me show you guys. It was not in the text. Which one was it in? Hold on. Let me see. Oh, what is this? That was weird. Okay, so let me go back to this. I'm just seeing if... All right, I do have it. Makenzie, Sharilla, And I open it up and it should say phone calls. I have them right here too. I could do it this way too. Okay, let's see. Downloads. Where's my download? Okay, here we go. Oh, so I was listening to it? Oh my goodness. All right, hold on. Let's open this. Open this. Where are the damn phone calls? I think I have to put my thumb drive in. That might be it. I might have deleted the phone calls off of my drive because it was taking up a lot of space. So I put them on a thumb drive because I'm a nerdy teacher and that's what we do. Now I have to plug it into here because I have too many things plugged in. All right, here we go. Now I should be able to get it. All right, my E drive. Let's see, you guys. All right, it's opening it up because I have all the phone calls. Come on. All right, here we go. Text, da 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 da. Oh. All right, hold on. Where the hell are... I literally just listened to them. I don't know where I put them, I guess. I have the text with Christine Russo, the text with her dad. I have her warrant. I have the post-crash messages to Angelo and then to Christine. I have the text with Rosie. And I have no idea where, hold on. Not the surveillance videos. The phone calls, do the phone calls, biatch. No, don't cancel it. I don't want it canceled. Anyway, I'll have to find it. I don't know which one I put it in, but I have all of them. I listened to them yesterday and literally, oh my God, is all I have to say because they go all out. Let's see, are they right here, you guys? This is so weird. All right, here goes this one. Phone calls. Here we go. Open. There we go. Hold on, I'm getting it, you guys. I just had to be 10% smarter than the computer. Don't all the kids have nudes? Oh, they do nowadays. And you know what I tell my students, Birdie? A lot of them don't realize that if you're 18 and you send, or if you're 17 and you send your nudes to your 18-year-old boyfriend, he now has child essay materials, right? Or vice versa, if you're 18 and someone sends you. So I tell my students, because we had like a long talk about it, about how it could be very intimidating, because if all the other kids are doing it type thing, which I think is like, wait, what? But I'm like, you know what? Don't like shame them for it. Like, just help give them advice. So my advice to them was send them a pic, go to Google, type in boobs, right? If you're like olive skin boobs. If you're darker skin, dark, whatever. Go a couple pages in. Don't get any of the ones on the first page. Go like 7-8 pages in. Nobody goes that far. Pick a pair, send them, so that when you break up and he sends them to all his friends, you could be like, the joke's on you, asshole. I would never send my titties to you. Do you know what I mean? So that's my advice to my students. And remember, my students are adults. They're not kids, they're adults. I probably should have started with that. All right, so Natalie Sherrill. All right, Chief Weaver, I think this is it. Or is it the one with the sergeant? It's one of these two calls. Hold on, let's see. And I'm going to share it with you. All right, hold on.
Council Police Detective Hazu. Hi, Detective Chief Lever again. Hey, Chief, how you doing?
All right, I don't know which one that is. It's Chief Lever or something, but we're going to see which one that is. I don't think that's the one I was talking about, but I do have both. All right, here we go. I'm sharing my screen, media player, and I'm going to share my sound. And let's see what this one was. This is only a minute.
Not bad. So we just had a conversation with Landon. That was a very interesting conversation, I must say.
All right, great.
Yeah. He is not willing to talk. He says that he is not being threatened, and in his words, I'm at the top of the chain, nobody messes with me, I'll just kick their ass.
Okay. All right.
He seemed very, this is just my intuition or whatever. Whatever this is, he's involved.
Oh no, yeah, we have him on recording, text messages, you know.
Yeah, he tried to say something about, you know, his best buddies were killed in a car accident, but, you know, he was in the other room when whatever went down. Yeah. Of course, he didn't go into great detail, but FYI, in case you want to know, he is trying to get home tomorrow.
Okay.
He's trying to attend his high school football game.
Okay.
And if he's not able to, he's going to be at John Terrell University playing in our football game at 1:30. So if you want to try to round him up or
no, at this point, we're not gonna ruffle any feathers. Let him do his thing. He doesn't want to cooperate. That's fine. You know, he's going to get a grand jury subpoena from the county prosecutor. At that point, we're gonna, with your guys' help. If he fails to comply with it, he will be, arrested for contempt of court. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. Sure. But I do appreciate all the help, Chief.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
You guys, I don't remember that call. I must have seen before that it was only a minute long and was just probably like, whatever, it's probably nothing. That was crazy. So there was a point where, where was Mackenzie's defense attorneys? Why didn't somebody play that? And again, we're glad that he didn't, you know what I mean? But I don't understand why they didn't do that. Metro Health Call, I think this is it. Listen up, you guys. Ready for this one? All right, let's see. Oh, wait, I have to share.
Monday, August 8, 2022.
All right, hold on. I have to reshare this, and I want you guys to hear it from the beginning because it's like, oh my God. And I'm going to turn my screen off for 1 second so that, all right, Metro Health Call. This is it. All right, you ready? Here we go. This is a lot, so let's listen up.
Monday, August 8, 2022, 12:40 and 42 seconds.
Thank you for calling the Metro Health Medical Center. For English, press 1. Para español, oprima el número 2.
If you know your party's 5-digit number, you may dial it at any time. For patient information, press 1. For appointments or other services from our clinics, press 2. All other callers, press 0 or stay on the line for the
41 and 02 seconds.
That call that we just listened to was between the sheriff and one of his detectives, I think it would be. And then this call here is one of the detectives calling the medical place. I think you were the one that just said, Calissa, that they didn't take the blood right away. You're going to hear it right here. Wait till you hear how pissed off he is.
Good afternoon. Thank you for calling. Your call will be answered by the first available operator.
health.org/breastfeeding-clinic.
If you need to see a doctor today, Metro Health has same-day appointments available.
Jason,
go online and visit.
I'm on the phone with Metro's pathology trying to find out where the fuck the blood sample is.
List of available appointment times and locations.
Well, legal said you should be able to get it. So now we're trying to track it down.
It's open and accepting patients. Thank you for calling Metro Health Medical Center. This is Kim speaking. How may I direct your call?
Hi, pathology, please. Thank you.
and 02
Metro Health Pathology, this is Nikki. May I help you?
Hi, Nikki. How are you? My name is Detective Jesus. I'm with the Strongsville Police Department. I got to you after calling the records and legal. I served a search warrant to Metro on the 4th. They gave me everything except the blood sample. They said I need to track it down. Where do I come get the blood sample from pursuant to the search warrant?
Oh, let me transfer you over to the core lab. You can ask them.
Okay, sounds good.
Just a minute.
All right.
Understand. Are they able to understand and respond to you? Or appropriately when you speak to them?
Monday, August 8, 2022, 12:42 and 42 seconds.
Core lab, how can I help you?
Hi, my name is Detective Jesus. I'm with the Strongsville Police Department. I'm calling because pursuant to a search warrant that I served on the 4th, I was told I need to track down the blood sample. And I called medical records, who transferred me to legal, who transferred me to pathology, who transferred me to you.
Okay.
I have the search warrant. It's been approved. I got 473 pages of documents, but the actual blood sample.
You need the sample.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who this is supposed to go through before, like, you actually pick it up. We'll find all that out. But let me see make sure I have any samples on this person. So what's
Sure. Her last name is Shirilla, SHIRILLA.
And the first name?
Her first name is Makenzie, MACKENZIE.
All right. And birthday?
Her birthday is 8/2/2004.
Okay, let's see here. Okay, she's still here, looks like.
Right.
And this would be her, I'm assuming her, like what?
No, they don't, A. Higgins. Wait till you hear what happens.
From when she first came in?
Yes, that's that fatal crash in Strongsville.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see here.
Also, I do have a copy of the warrant for you if you need it. It's already been served to you guys. It's already been good to go, but, you know, in case...
But, I'm looking to see if there's any blood on her.
Okay.
Because we only keep it for, let's see here. Just have to first. Let's see.
The ER doctor, we told her that we found drugs on her, on the girl. And she said she's going to do the blood work and for us to get started on the search warrant, which is what we did.
Yeah, because they had ordered a toxicology screen that night, and they never ran it. Never got like a urine sample on her, which is just stupid for this exact reason.
Boom, right there. So Calissa was correct. They literally say right there that the doctor ordered a toxicology, but that nobody ever got her urine or did the toxicology, you guys. What a failure on their part. And again, where is the defense? Remember the prosecution said that if they were able to say that there were rugs in her system, that they would have charged her with vehicular, you know what I mean, instead of what they charged her with. So where's her defense? Where, like, saying that they didn't even take it that day. It's crazy.
We told them, God, this whole case could crumble on this now.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Oh my God, I have to rewind that part, you guys. He just said this whole case could crumble in this right now.
Never got like a urine sample on her, which is just stupid for this exact reason.
We told them, God, this whole case could crumble on this now.
Yeah. Let's see here. Everything from the 31st is, I'm looking to see if anything is still here before. Let's see. No, not that.
2022.
I'm not seeing any blood still here from the 31st.
Really?
Yep, let's see here.
Oh my God.
02 seconds.
How pissed would you be?
Apology selecting. I'm going through each one. Let's see.
I hope that you were self-powered.
Selecting. No. Canceled.
22 seconds.
Oh. This was, let's see.
46 and 32 seconds.
It's looking like everything was disposed of from the 31st on the 5th.
Monday.
On the 5th? Okay. All right. I will just let the prosecutor know. She's going to get off on this. You'll hear it.
42.
Did you just hear what he said? He just said, I'm going to let the prosecutor know. She's going to get off on this. I know it. Wow.
Oh. This was, let's see.
46 and 32 seconds.
It's looking like everything was disposed of from the 31st on the 5th.
Monday.
On the 5th? Okay. All right. I will just let the prosecutor know. She's going to get off on this. You'll hear it.
42
That's
seconds.
terrible. I don't even know if I heard about the whole thing.
Wow.
Was it at night?
No, during the day.
Oh, in the evening. It was. Oh no, she came in early in the morning, huh?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Jesus.
Okay. Well, hey.
Oh, I'm sorry. I wish I could help you more.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right. Bye.
Now, there's blood here from, like, not that this helps you, but there's blood here, obviously, because she's still here. There's blood here from a couple days ago, but I know that might not necessarily help you from that day because you're not going to get the, alcohol levels or whatever she was on.
Do you know when that blood was taken?
The stuff that is here.
Yeah.
I have something from.
Because the search warrant is until the 4th. So do you have anything from the 4th?
Let's see here. I have.
Monday, August 8th.
Well, I have. Let me see if this is still here. Still here. Let's see.
They disposed of all her blood from the night of the crash on the 31st. On the 5th. We don't have any blood.
From the 4th. Now I have. Let's see. From the 4th, I have a gold top, which is serum, a CBC. That's not here. I have one gold top from that day, from the 4th.
Okay.
And that's it. Let me.
What's a gold top, you guys? Does anybody know? And just so you guys know, this call was on the 8th. So they disposed of it 3 days before.
See if I have anything from the 3rd.
Okay.
I have a gold top from the 3rd.
What's a gold top? I'm sorry. Like what?
It's like a serum. It's a serum blood tube.
Oh, there you go.
Would that be? Would they be able to see if there were any drugs in that? Like, would that be tested for drugs?
Yeah, you could. I know that the drug screening that we do in-house is only urine, but this can be, but it can be out.
Anything on the 2nd or the 1st? Anything closer to the crash date?
Let me see if there's anything from, like.
I mean, I'll come get the 3rd and the 4th. If we can show, here 3 days after the crash, you still have,
Nothing from the 1st. Let me see about the 2nd. Thank you. Nothing from the 2nd.
Oh my God. I'm about to have a heart attack.
See, in situations like this, I wish that they kept that kind of stuff longer because
it's a fatal crash. Like they,
for stuff like this. But that's the thing, they don't tell. Like, we don't know when the blood comes in, like what it's from or who it's from or what the situation is. We just do the testing on it and store it, and it's stored for a week, and then that's it. Let's see. I don't have anything from the 2nd. Nothing from the. I have anything from the 3rd. I have a tube from the 3rd, and that would be the earliest.
Okay. Can I? Okay, I need to get that.
Yeah. Let me. I wonder if my supervisor's in her office. Do you have a phone number I can call?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me give you my office number. I'm here.
Okay, what is it?
It is 440 580 3255.
50.
3255.
My first name is Zaki, Z-A-K-I.
Z-A-K-I.
Last name Hazou, H-A-Z-O-U.
50.
A-Z-O-U.
And I'm a detective with Strongsville Police.
Okay, Detective Strongsville.
And like I said, the search warrant goes until the 4th.
Goes to the 4th, from the 31st to the 4th.
Yep, it's been served to your medical records.
1284.
Oh, well, you guys, I think I let it go off before this last time, not to hear where they said that they only have a warrant until the 4th. It's the 8th. So even if they have blood from the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th, I guess they would have to get a new warrant for that. But they only have it for up to the 4th. Can you imagine? Oh my God. Oh my God. You have to take pregnancy tests all the time. Oh wait, what did I miss? My eggs are scrambled because I haven't had to take a pregnancy test in 18 years. I also have, this is probably way too much to share, but I also have an IUD, so that could be why as well. But we'll see.
And 580-3255, right?
Yes.
Okay, I want to pull these two tubes.
Okay.
To put to the side for this, and I'm going to talk to I just want to see how we need to go about this. Talk to my supervisor, and then I'll give you a ring back.
Okay, sounds good.
And my name's Laura.
All right, Laura, thank you so much for your help.
Okay, you're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Monday, August 8th.
Wow. I think that was a bombshell. And for reasons that I think, in my opinion, like you guys were saying too, what the hell was her defense doing or not doing, right? Like, why wasn't this part of the trial? Why doesn't her mom know about this? Like, why isn't her mom or dad talking? Like, I don't understand. There are so many things that I've heard or whatever. And this is the other thing. The only reason she didn't get an appeal, it had nothing to do with anything other than the fact that her defense filed it one day too late, you guys. Imagine that. You guys, let's hear Natalie Shirley real quick. 186. So 186, this is Natalie Shirley.
22, 12, 40, and 42.
Strongsville Police, Detective Hazou.
Hey, it's Natalie Shirley.
Hi.
Hey.
Good, how are you?
Can you help us? She's not on social media, but there are one person in particular who's personally reaching out to her saying terrible, horrible things. It's basically harassment. Is there anything you can do to help us stop her?
Who's the person?
It's Morgan for Biggie. She's saying terrible. We screenshotted things.
Well, I can't do anything about that, to be honest with you. The only thing I can tell you is she needs to stay off her phone.
She's talking to her friends and messages.
I understand.
But sometimes people make a visit to their house saying, stop, knock it off. We know what you're doing, and this is it's cyberbullying.
Well, at this point, the only thing I can tell you is the best thing she can do is stay off social media. People are talking. People have not stopped. People are not going to stop. At this point, you have a lot of people talking, and unless they say we're going to come kill you or something of that sort, there's very little in terms of what can be done. We will kind of put another Facebook, if you want, like a public on the Strongsville Police page saying to knock it off would be...
No, don't do that, because that'll just draw more attention.
Okay. Well,
I just didn't know if you guys could... In the past, sometimes they have done that.
Well, not in this case. At this point, like I said, I'm here today on my day off working on the case because there's just so much. We're getting so much from people, calls, and they're sharing things with us, and we have to vet through everything.
I see.
So the only thing I can tell you is I know she made her social media private, which is very smart. she needs to stay off social media, period.
Right.
Take this as a piece of advice, I'm telling you.
Like, it's not on social media.
Right. She just needs to, what's Morgan's phone number?
I don't even, do you have Morgan's phone number? No, they're not even.
So she's not, is Morgan talking directly to Makenzie, or is just Morgan posting things?
Before he goes any further, you guys, if you remember correctly from the text with Dom, isn't Morgan the one that Makenzie was very protective of? Like, she thinks she accused Dom of cheating with this girl. Remember that?
Well, she's private on things, and I think. Hold on.
I haven't been using Instagram at all. I have my bio taken down.
Everything's taken down and everything's private, but I think Morgan is on there.
On where?
Oh, she doesn't follow Kenzie. She's just going to her requests and dropping them like in there and then unsending them and sending. I don't know how she's backdooring it.
Well, hold on a second. If Kenzie's not on social media and she doesn't have her phone number, how is Morgan even contacting her? Like, where? On what platform?
That's what I mean. So if Mackenzie's private,
it doesn't matter. Does she still have an open social media account? Like, is she still
Instagram open? It's just private.
It's private.
Yeah.
No, she's still going to be able to contact her.
Right.
Right. Okay. What's Morgan's last name? I can try to call her. And
thank you.
Do you have a number? I can't promise you anything.
I know. I understand.
Morgan Ribicki.
V. V-E-R. Verbicki.
Verbicki. Okay. Do you know where she lives?
Do you know where she lives?
Yes.
Do you know about where she lives?
Like, in Hunting Meadows, like by Lake Yowie.
Around Hunting Meadows.
Okay. Like I said, how is Makenzie feeling these days? Is she better?
My God. Excruciating pain. She just had her surgery on her arm, and it's terrible.
Did they tell you how many broken bones she has?
She broke her C1
vertebrae. A vertebrae?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I don't know. Her humerus, right by the elbow. 8, 9, and 10 ribs.
Wow.
Her femur. And she lacerated her kidney and her liver.
Case, that's so funny.
And her left knee down to the joint.
Wow.
I know.
Well, I hope she could just focus on healing and getting better. At this point, I know she deleted some things, but, there are a lot of people out there who,
and we don't care because she knows, she doesn't mind. It's just Morgan is really, really being evil.
No, well, like I said, I'll attempt to, again,
everyone's evil with this lady.
Police Instagram. So it's going to be hard,
name, right?
Yeah, I read that. I'm going to try to track her down and just be like, listen, knock it off at this point.
Right. It's very evil.
That's, I will do that for you guys. Also, did you guys retain a lawyer yet?
Yes, we did. We're going to talk with them.
What's the lawyer's name? Do you know?
Oh gosh, my husband has all that.
Okay.
Do you want me to have him call you with all that information?
Again, no big deal. Just have the lawyer call me. I gave you my card. Just give my contact info to the lawyer. Tell him, the detective asked that, you kind of make yourself known at this point.
Yeah.
Because, like I said, now that Kenzie's able to talk, I don't want to go by what her friends are saying.
No,
I really don't.
Yeah,
okay.
Right. And I told her that too. I said, listen, they know.
We know. Yeah. I pretty much was able to put together the last 12 hours before the crash. So I know where she was, who she was with, everything. So at this point, I just want to know from her, what happened.
Yeah.
We do have some pictures. If she wants to see them, it's up to her. Like I said, I want to work with her. I'm not trying to, to make things more difficult.
Okay, he's definitely lying because we just heard him pissed saying that she's probably going to get away with it now because of the thing. What date is this one actually? Maybe not. I could be wrong. This is 8-6. So that call that we just listened to wasn't until 8-8. So, I mean, who knows? It could be. You guys, will you do me a huge favor and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed? I only need 11 more to get to my next goal. And it's been like stuck for today. So that would be awesome. If you're not subscribed, that would help me so very much. And I will so appreciate it. And I don't forget.
Cool. I know she doesn't like police. I get it. But at this point, you know, she needs to get over that.
Right.
Okay, I have to rewind that part. Did you just hear what he said? That's what I was telling you guys last night. I said, I remember in one of the things where the cops say, I know she doesn't like cops, but she needs to get over that. Let's hear him say it again.
Much was able to put together the last 12 hours before the crash. So I know where she was, who she was with, everything. So at this point, I just want to know from her, you know, what happened.
Yeah.
You know, we do have some pictures. If she wants to see them, it's up to her. Like I said, I want to work with her. I'm not trying to, you know, to make things more difficult. I know she doesn't like police. I get it. But at this point, you know, she needs to get over that.
Right.
So, you know, just I hope she feels better. You guys take care of her. You know, like I said, we're going to get through this together, all of us.
Amen. Yep.
So, but it's very important that the lawyer contacts me because at this point, I don't want to talk to her without her lawyer.
Absolutely.
And her lawyer might not want her to talk to me either.
No,
that's her constitutional
We're
right.
just trying to nip the local.
Right. So I cannot police people from talking. People have a First Amendment right. They can talk. They can voice their opinions. That's public discourse. But what I'm going to do is try to reduce their threats. So if they're like, I know where you live, and I'm going to come to your house, I'm going to punch you in the throat, you know, those are the kinds of things we will have our officers handle. But somebody saying, you know, you're evil, you killed, no, that's opinion. That's, you know, that's not going to, you know, rise to the level where we're charging somebody with harassment or menacing until there's that threat of harm to Makenzie, to you guys, or to your property.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm going to try to get a hold of Morgan just as a courtesy on good faith to show you guys, you know, and we'll hopefully put an end to it.
Thank you. That makes me just want to cry. So thank you. That's all.
Not a problem.
That's all I'm asking.
Listen, at the end of the day, you know, this is very sad for everybody involved, and especially for Kenzie. She has to live the rest of her life with this.
Yes.
Whether she understands the seriousness of it or not, you know, it can't be easy. So I hope you guys all, you know, pull through together and everything goes well. Like I said, at this point, just please make sure whoever your lawyer is gives me a call next week. This is very important. If not, just, you know, give me their contact info and somehow we'll get in contact with the lawyer.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait, when you go, she has a friend named Jana. Jana's not saying as bad, but if you could just throw Jana's name into that, if and when you go, it's those two. They're being very cruel.
Okay. What exactly are they saying? Does she have a screenshot of what they're saying?
She does have screenshots. Yeah.
Okay. What are they saying? Exactly. So when I call, I'm not, you know, they call my bluff. I want to be able to say, you said da 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 da.
Do you have Morgan's? Hold on a second.
No, this is more important.
So I have the one screenshot. I have what Jana said, Kenzie. Do you have what Morgan said?
I have what Morgan said, but not like she understood. But this is the first thing she said to me. And she said, I never knew you would actually be the end of Dom. And then she texted me later that night and said, I know you did it on purpose. And then she unsent it before I could get a screenshot of it. I put that card there just so you know. Thank you.
Okay. Natalie?
Yeah, I'm here.
Do you have my email? I gave you my card. My email's on there. Can you email me those screenshots?
Well, that was stupid. He just said, Natalie, can you email me those questions? And she's talking about the questions that Makenzie just said, or the statements about, we know you did this on purpose thing. That's obviously going to be used against her.
Because before I go talk to these girls or to their parents, I want to know what's in there, so when I talk to them, I can say, you said 1, 2, 3, 4. So they don't call my bluff, and now I have nothing.
Okay.
Does that make
And
sense?
yeah, and then the one, so Jana is saying stuff like, Makenzie never told anybody to, whatever. It's just, it's mean and it's cruel and it's not.
I got you.
I appreciate you.
The sooner you can email those to me, the sooner I can try to track them.
It's on your card, right?
Yeah, it's on my card, and if she has phone numbers, that would be helpful. If not, I will figure something out to try to get a hold of them.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you. Yeah.
All righty.
Okay.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye. You too. Bye.
Crazy, right?
Sounds of police.
That was crazy too. You guys, I have so many like cop questions for Daniel. I'm gonna have to do a live of him. If it wasn't 10:49, I'd call him. And he might be live anyway. There's another call here real quick with Sergeant Doyle. So let's see, I don't know what this one is.
Dr. Kazoo.
Hey, it's
Hello. Hi, is this Sergeant Doyle?
Yes.
This
How are you?
Good. This is Dr. Kazoo, Sons of Police. How you doing?
Good. As I said, I talked to a couple of your officers today. We just happened to be. I'm sorry, I'm congested from a cold.
Oh, no worries, Sergeant.
I don't mind writing something, but I don't know how good it would be since there was only a very, very brief interaction with him. So.
Well, this is was this pertaining to to that call you guys were sent to August 6th, where she was combative?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was the same one. Because I was gonna say I know someone reached out to you guys about that.
Right. And is there? I'm not trying to question your guys' procedures, but is there a reason why no report was generated?
Well, we don't really unless it's a hands-on or something like that, or like a big disturbance. We don't generate reports for that kind of stuff. It's just
gotcha. Okay. Well, at this point, this is a homicide investigation, and so what Sharilla's dad said to you is material. I consulted with the prosecutor, and it's extremely important because we are trying to show that she intentionally drove the car into the wall. And if her dad made those statements, that's critical.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest with you. I remember him saying she needs a psych eval, but I don't remember how he said it, why he said it. I remember the word psych eval in there.
Okay. So what you told the officers this morning was that he kind of alluded to or stated that she wanted to take her life and drove the car into the building.
No, that's not how I worded it this morning. He just said he's my daughter was in a serious accident or something along those lines, and he was mad that the staff wasn't helping him out. So he's they need to do a psych eval because she wanted to leave. That's why we were up there because she was screaming and yelling.
Okay. And do you guys not wear body cameras?
No, we do not.
Okay. Well, Sarge, listen, I know this is a pain in the ass for you, but I'm going to need a statement from you. You can reply to the email that I sent, and you got to be detailed because the prosecutor's going to look at it. Like I said, this is a homicide investigation.
No, I totally understand.
So, I know the CAD number, your guys' CAD number is 31787. But, whatever the dad told you, describe how his demeanor was,
Did anybody else take that as threatening? Your CAD number is 71817 or whatever? Why did he say that? And is it me and again, I'm not defending Makenzie here. I'm just saying, if you two bad actors, where the fuck you been? I missed you. The passengers were not seatbelted, but this is the thing. If you look, I'm not even a lawyer, and I feel like I could have done a better job than her lawyers. She wore a seatbelt, but if you look at the videos of her, she's usually wearing a seatbelt. And if you see the videos with like Dom, you don't always see it. So I don't know how much the seatbelt means. Maybe it does, but I'm not sure. I know for me, and probably you guys, when you get into the car, most of us just put our seatbelt on. Usually when you don't put your seatbelt on, most people, to get the ding to stop, will plug the seatbelt in, but then like sit, on it so that they're not using it, but that way it's not dinging. So if that's the case, and I don't know that to be the case, but the passengers definitely were not wearing seatbelts. What is up, Nene? Nene says, poor Sarge probably caught trying to get Kenzie out of the car. I'm trying to say that out loud, and I got what you're saying there. You're fine. So then Heidi says, all of us could have done a better job than her lawyers. True statement. A. Higgins says, he's just letting him know that he knows who they are and that they didn't do their job properly because they didn't file a report or document anything. So he's slightly letting him know to oblige. Exactly. But this is the thing. If I were a defense attorney, one, like you said, because they didn't write the report, now it don't mean shit. And two, I feel like either the officer or the detective, whatever he is, I feel like he either misunderstood the conversation that he had with the other cop, or the other cop misunderstood the conversation with this guy. But I feel like in this call, why wouldn't the detective, after hearing the cop say all this, just be like, you know what, okay, and realize, well, I didn't think it was any, you know what I mean? And now the cop has not proof of that, but talk to the person themselves. And if you guys remember, so he said the 6th, if I'm correct, this is the day of Dom's funeral. And if you guys remember, in the text messages with his brother, she asks his brother Gino if he could go in Dom's room and get pictures of her and Dom to put in the casket so that they could be together forever. But then Dom's sister has a podcast, which everybody should go subscribe to. I'm subscribed. And she said that Makenzie wasn't allowed at the funeral. And I know she wasn't even allowed out of the hospital at that time. The reason the dad called the cops, if I remember correctly, is because Makenzie was trying to leave because she wanted to go see Dom one last time. And she was like willing to like sign herself out type thing. And the dad wanted the staff members to help him more because they were, telling her to stop. But apparently she was like freaking out and she wanted to go. And here they somehow get her to stay. I can't remember exactly how, but like somebody comes in to talk to her, one of the staff. But the sister, Dom's sister, says, Christine, she said that Makenzie was on FaceTime with someone that was like in line for the viewing, and that the person had her on FaceTime and like showed her the casket and everything. Could you imagine? That's crazy. But yeah, why wasn't she insisting to go to Davion's? You know what I mean? I guess you could say because Dom's her boyfriend, but I mean, come on. Yeah, really, that's crazy, right? Which part really? The part that she asked the brother to go put the pictures in the casket, or the part where I feel like all of the things are bad. I can't even. I'm like, I couldn't imagine. It's just crazy to me. Crazy.
And, if the prosecutor looks at it and has more questions, I'll have the prosecutor call you directly.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, I was going to say, that was like back in
August 6th. Yeah, August 6th.
Yeah, I was going to say, like our policy is, like, unless it's a real big disturbance, or, like, as long as it's, like, not a hands-on or anything, it's just a CAD call, like, for KCC.
Yeah, I mean, that's your procedure. If the prosecutor has an issue with it, then he'll ask you about it, and you just testify to your procedure. But the details of that encounter are very critical, especially at this point in the investigation, because everything is lining up to show this was not just an accident was not a random act. So
well, I don't like he like because I barely talked to her at all, like because we stepped out and talked to the dad, and then I have to look to see who came up there with me.
The badge numbers are 3 and 77. Which one are you?
3.
You're 3. Okay.
That's intimidating to me.
Yeah.
So number 77 was with you. He was actually. Looks like you guys both got there at the same time.
Okay.
You were there for about 20 minutes, according to the CAD call. But no big deal, Sarge. Like I said, write as much as you can, be as detailed and descriptive as you can. Describe the dad, his demeanor, the circumstances. I mean, like I said, this is going into a homicide investigation. So then I'll just give it to the prosecutor, and we'll see. We'll take it from there.
Okay.
Okay.
I talked to 77 Officer Tuccione tonight too.
Okay, yeah, and if he had heard anything else, just have him separately send me an email too, if you don't mind.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, Sarge. I appreciate it.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
Yep.
So, you guys, this date was 10/11/22. So this was well after this detective finds out that there's no blood. This is after, what else did he say that she's going to get off on it for? There was something else. There was a few things. And so this is after, like way after all of that. So I almost feel like, and this is just my opinion, that they were like grasping at straws at this point because he didn't want her to get away with this. And this is him the very next day. What? Oh no, this was a few days before. Okay, you guys, this is 10/6/22, the day that he's talking about. I wonder if we'll hear something on this. If I would have seen the date, I would have played this one first. But this is the date in question that he was just asking the other officer about.
Hi, Detective Chief Weaver again.
Hey, Chief, how you doing?
Not bad. So just had a conversation with Landon.
Uh-huh.
That was a very interesting conversation, I must say.
All right, great.
Yeah. He's not.
Oh, we heard this one.
Okay.
We heard that one. That's the one with Landon. But that was on 10/6, so I believe that must have been that same day. Wow. Who's Deanna? 8:26 is the first call. Let's see who Deanna is. Might as well.
Hello?
Hi, is this Deanna?
What's this?
This is Detective Jesus from the police. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Deanna, I haven't heard from Tyler. Were you able to get in contact with him?
I'm checking to say I call you back. I don't. It's just so weird to me. Right now.
Was Tyler her ex, right? What's the holdup here?
I think he's just afraid of, like, Mackenzie's friends and stuff.
That was the longest, most awkward silence I've ever heard in my life.
Bothering him if he talks to you guys. I think that that's the main thing that he's worried about.
Well, at this point, the prosecutor wants to hear from him. And so, there were statements made by you when I called you the first time that, Makenzie made threats in the past,
Yeah,
so with him being her ex-boyfriend, we have to talk to him. He can talk to me, or I can let the prosecutor know, and the prosecutor will subpoena him and compel him to talk. So at this point, I would really like to do it the easy way, but the prosecutor deemed his testimony necessary for the investigation. So you can come up with him. He's not in any kind of trouble. I'm not going to call and tell her friends or anybody.
I think that's the main thing he's worried about. Is what he's telling me is that, you know, he's gone to school with all these people, and even though he, you know, he just doesn't want people to be on top of him because of him just, you know, telling the truth.
I understand,
and he
but
doesn't know, you know, what kind of consequences that just come with that. And
I think the consequences of not, you know, providing the information as far as the prosecutor is concerned is going to be a lot worse for him. And that's, you know, that's not a, you know, I'm not trying to coerce him into talking to me, but like I said, given what you said, and
why would you say I'm not coercing him? But I feel like you guys, after listening to all these together, don't you guys feel like he definitely, in my opinion, was like in fear that he might lose this case? That's what it sounds like to me. He got so lucky that her defense attorneys did absolutely nothing.
Given his prior relationship with Makenzie, there's no way around it. The prosecutor will subpoena him. And so he's better off coming here voluntarily. We'll have a chat in the lobby. You can come with him if you want. You know, 20, 30 minutes top, and he'll be on his way.
You know, that it's not, like you're not trying to make it public that he's coming in there talking to you or anything like that.
We've talked to a bunch of her friends, so I mean, everybody's telling us bits and pieces, like a big puzzle. He knows a piece that's necessary. You know.
Honestly, if that was my son in the car, I would want to know everything. I would want justice. I would want peace. I would want to be able to put, you know and
the families of Davion and Dominic deserve justice for their daughter. And like I said, it could just be a car accident. I mean, we don't know. That's what we're trying to figure out. He's not trying to throw her under the bus. He's basically just trying to shed some light to either, you know, add a piece to the puzzle that can clarify things. And, you know, like I said, he's not going to, you know, we're not going to put it on our Facebook page that, oh, today we talked to Tyler. No. But like I said, he's, you know, if he doesn't talk to me, I have to tell the prosecutor, and the prosecutor is going to send him a subpoena to come to court and testify in open court. You don't want that. So, you know.
I mean, I just wanted to call you. I just don't understand. Like, I don't think it's.
Well, at this point, I need to talk to him face to face. You know, because he's been dodging me, I'm not going to play over the phone because I don't know if it is him. How would I know if it's not somebody else pretending to be him? So he needs to come to the police station. We'll sit in the lobby. He's not under arrest. He's not in any type of trouble. But we've got to talk, and it has to be sooner than later. You know, before next Friday, I have to talk to him. And if I don't, then, you know, it's in the prosecutor's hands. So I don't know if he can hear this conversation. Okay. You know, this needs to be conveyed. I mean, this is very, very serious. Once the prosecutor issues subpoenas for testimony, it becomes a big deal. So, you know, I don't know what needs to be said to him, but, you know, he's going to have to come talk. Okay. So, what exactly is your relationship to him, if you don't mind me asking?
Of mine?
Yeah.
I'm his mother.
Okay, yeah, perfect. And so you have some influence to be able to convince him that it's the right thing to do.
He's 19 years old, so, you know, I only have so much convincing to do, especially if other people are, like, talking, you know, and all those friend groups are, you know, saying not to say things, and, you know, it makes it difficult for...
I understand, but you made statements on his behalf that now makes him a material witness. And so, you know.
I've already told him he needs to come and tell you guys, and it's not fair to the two families that were there. They do deserve justice, especially if, you know, he was under the influence, and if this was purpose or whatever, you know, the case may be, like, they deserve answers, and they deserve... Like, right now, those are the ones that are hurting most. Those are the ones that didn't have their son that got to come home. And that's what I was trying to tell my son. Like, my son came home. I was lucky. Like, I could have easily... Those two could have been off again, you know, and dating my son again.
And like I said, 100%, you're 100% correct. And that's exactly what we want to do. And we're not saying what he says is going to get Makenzie in trouble. It could actually clarify some things. We're like, oh, okay. You know, so...
Unfortunately, I have a bad feeling that it's not going to, but, and, you know, unfortunately, like, even now, her profile picture has her sitting on Dominic's lap with a bottle of, or a glass of champagne in her hand, you know, it just,
And so, we can't keep tracking down like
That was
social media
shady.
posts and not be able to verify first-hand information. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, I totally get it. But I'm saying like when you're drinking, driving, or doing drugs and doing things, consequences happen. And
Okay. Well, like I said, I would really like for him to call me, preferably today, to schedule an appointment. If he does not by Wednesday, I will. I've already told the prosecutor that he's kind of dodging me. So that as of yesterday, 4 p.m., the prosecutor knows his name and knows that he's not cooperating and that he's a material witness. And so by next Wednesday...
I should say you should subpoena him. Like, he told me this information. He told me that he thought I should tell you guys, and I felt like I should just because if I was the mother, I would want justice, and if he's not doing what he's supposed to do, and if he's not there by Wednesday, I 100% should do that.
Right. Is there... I mean, like I said, I don't want to come off...
OMG. And he's literally about to say, I don't want to come off. And I don't know if he's going to say is like coercing him like he did earlier, but you guys, oh my God. And just in case you're just joining, this is the detective. He called Mackenzie's ex-boyfriend's mom because the ex-boyfriend, he wants him to talk to him. And apparently nobody in Strongville likes the cops from what we're finding out from all these. And he doesn't want to talk to him because he has to go to school with all these other kids that are going to, he doesn't want to get involved. And this is his mom talking to him. And the cop is literally saying he either has to call me or I'm going to call the prosecutor and tell him that he's not cooperating, and then they're going to compel him and he's going to be subpoenaed. Like, I just feel like he's being very, like, I feel like if this mom was a lawyer, for example, I feel like she would have been like I don't know that he had the right to be like that. I mean, I know that he would have gotten subpoenaed, but I just feel like he's being very, I don't know. I feel like you get more bees with honey.
As being aggressive with him, I'm not really.
Okay, there you go. He just said it. Let's go back 10 seconds. He just said it.
To do, and if he's not there by Wednesday, I 100% should do that.
Right. Is there, I mean, like I said, I don't want to come off as being aggressive with him, and I'm not really, but, the information he has is very, very important.
I agree.
So...
I'm actually disappointed that he hasn't called you back. He literally told me he was.
He's been dodging. I have called him, I kid you not, maybe 10 times. I kid you not. And he's one of 2 people that are material to this case.
Yeah, and even if he's not going to say, or even if he's not even going to give you exactly what you need to know or anything, like even a return phone call back, discuss it with you.
And it's easy. Oh, you're absolutely right, ma'am. All he has to say is, call detective, I don't want to talk about this.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. So he's saying that he called 10 times. It's 11:11. Make a wish.
Click. Because now I don't have to keep calling and calling and calling. Now I could just say, hey, prosecutor, he doesn't want to talk.
You're wasting my time. I think it's really rude of him. I really do.
Okay.
And I'm going to let him know that I think
Can you please convey this message to him?
Yeah. Like what you guys do, like you guys put your guys' necks on the lines every single day, and I date her, so it's like I totally respect your job. I appreciate everything you guys do.
Thank you very much. And
it makes me very mad that he's not getting.
There are 2 grieving families, and they want closure. And we're not saying that Tyler's testimony or what he has to say is going to be condemning or going to close the case, but it's an important piece. So please tell him to at least get in contact with me. By Wednesday, he will get subpoenaed by the prosecutor.
That's threatening.
If I don't hear from him. So you got my contact info. Please convey this. I will attempt to contact on Monday. I will keep trying to call him every day until Wednesday.
And just one more time, I want to make sure I gave him the right name. I have you as Officer Hazou. How do you pronounce that?
Hazou. First name is Zaki, Z-A-K-I.
Okay.
Okay. And like I said, you can come to station. You can come with him if he feels safer, doesn't want to talk to police. I'm not narcotics. I'm not going to ask him about drug use. I don't care about that. We're basically just going to ask about his relationship with Makenzie. I want to know, has he ever driven with her? Was he ever in the car with her? What was her driving like? Is she a safe driver? Is she a reckless driver? Any talk about threats of hurting herself or hurting her boyfriends while they were dating? Those kinds of questions. I'm not going to ask him about the crash.
I know a good one to talk to is Joey. Joey dated him on and off too.
Well, nobody's talking.
Yeah, but willing to. So I just wanted to throw that name out there. Joey Probest.
Okay.
She's like, Joey, call Joey. Joey, 215, da-da-da. Call Joey. Don't call my son.
So he's also the ex-boyfriend in between all of them. She dated Joey longer than Tyler. So Joey and Dominic are the main boyfriends. And Dominic were all friends.
Okay.
So.
If Tyler would, if he doesn't want to talk, that's fine. Just leave me a voicemail. Say officer or detective. I don't want to talk. Done. And then they will know that I've done my part. But as long as I don't hear from him, I have to keep calling. He can shut this door very easily. Say, I don't want to talk, or just come down, answer like 5, 6 questions that I have, and go on your way.
Okay.
So please convey this message to him and stress the importance of him talking to me.
And I'm also going to tell him that it was very disrespectful for him to even tell me, hey, I'm going to call and not do it. Like, don't tell me you're going to do something and then not do it.
Right, right.
I thought this was handled.
I got it. Well, thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you.
Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
I'll be actually going to stress the importance and try to bring him up there.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your help. Right. Bye-bye.
Oh, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
You guys, is it me or did that mom seem like... I feel bad for her. Right? I remember that commercial, Truth. Don't you guys feel like he was very intimidating? Oh my God, there's another call with her on 9:30. What?
Friday, September 30, 2022, 09:11 and 24
Oh my
seconds.
God, you guys. I guess we're about to find out if he ever called the cops back, because the cops are calling the mom for a second time a month later. Actually, like a month and a half later.
Hello?
Good morning, Diana. This is Detective Jesus from the police. How you doing?
And 34 seconds.
Good. I tried calling you yesterday, but I guess it was going straight to voicemail. We had the, I called like 4 or 5 times between 4 and 4:45. So I wasn't sure if there was an issue with your phone.
I don't know.
09:11 and 54 seconds.
Well, would it be easier if I just emailed you a few questions and at your convenience you could just answer them?
09
Your schedule seems more hectic.
4 seconds.
I'm free now too, if that works for you as well. So either one.
Well, I want to be accommodating to your schedule. I understand you're very busy, of course.
And 14
in person
seconds.
is always number 1 preferable. A phone at number 2, and number 3 we could just do it by email. So, given
Friday,
your kids and your work situation, I'm going to let you decide that. What works for you best?
09:12
right now, if you prefer.
and 24
No,
seconds.
Perfect. So what I wanted to do was just ask a couple of things to establish like how long you've known her. So if you don't mind me asking, I know who you are, but for the interview, I just want to know, like, who are you in terms of this whole relationship?
So my name is Deanna. In the relationship, I'm really not involved. I guess the only way that I would be involved is my son dated Makenzie.
09:13
so it kind of is just like close to me because I knew Davion, and Dominic is one of my very good friends. Her
09:13 and 14 seconds.
Or cousin, and they just lost another child in their family from a car accident. So it's just all very like close.
Yeah,
Friday,
September
2022.
So how do you know Makenzie? I know you said
and
your son dated her.
seconds.
Can you tell me your son's name and how long? Like, when did you meet her?
So they dated just on and off. I would say through 10th and 11th grade, maybe.
13 and 44
I can't exactly remember if he dated a few other girls, and I can't really remember where they overlapped because it wasn't really super, important for dates for me for that, because I just, one, I just didn't laugh, and two, I just wouldn't let them hang out as much as they wanted to together, because I just didn't feel like she was a good influence on him, and I didn't agree with
09:14 and 04 seconds.
What was concerning? The red flags, what were they?
That she was allowed to do basically whatever she wanted. She was allowed to drink, smoke, do drugs. They didn't seem to care if he was in the house, where he was in the house, if he was in her bedroom, if the door was closed. And I just wasn't ready for my child to become a parent. I had him at, you know, I was pregnant at 16, I had him at 17.
24 seconds.
Gotcha. So, how you said they met in 10th or 11th grade. I'm assuming
0, 9,
that was about a year and a half before they,
4 seconds.
you know, before the crash, about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago.
Yes, correct. Yes.
Okay.
0, 9, 14, and 54
And
seconds.
Can you describe your son's relationship with her? How were they, at least from what you've
0,
seen or what
9,
he's told
15,
you?
and 0, 4
So,
seconds.
they seem to have argued a lot. It seems to be an ongoing theme with maybe whoever's boyfriend
0,
she's with.
9, 15, and...
Is it me, or is this like totally inappropriate? No? Like, what is he doing?
14
it was a lot
seconds.
of going back and forth to Dominic and then him and then even his friend Joey. So there was
Casey, you're so funny. It's it's like the police thing in the background, I guess, to, I don't know, what would they call it, like watermark it, I guess?
3 boyfriends at the time, and she was kind of bouncing between the 3 of them, so it caused a lot of friction between them.
2022,
so it was more just like arguing and
0,
hinting into
9,
arguments
15,
at school.
and
Like, so it was just
24
a lot of
seconds.
friction the whole time he dated her, and then I didn't want her dating, or him dating her, so it became more friction between me and him as well, because he'd be trying to hide it and stuff like that.
Would you say the relationship
0, 9,
was healthy?
15, and 44
No.
seconds.
Okay. In terms of her, now we you know,
0,
you kind of
9,
mentioned
15.
something about.
You guys, I can't help myself. I feel like he's asking very like yes and no questions. If he wants to get answers from her, he needs to ask open-ended questions. You can't just say, do you think they had a toxic relationship, and then her say yes. You have to say, can you give me an example of a time, if any, that you thought their relationship was toxic? And now, because you said if any, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like he's already being shady to begin with. Like, at least do it the right way, fella.
The alcohol,
54
possibly some
seconds.
drugs. But in terms of mental health, how did she appear to you? Did you ever threaten to hurt
0,
herself
9,
or your son?
16, and 0, 4 seconds.
I don't, herself, maybe. She never really, I've never heard of anything of that personally myself. She just seemed very
0,
narcissistic.
9, 6.
Wait, who is this with? I thought it said Deanna Fusenite. That was, I think, that boy, her ex-boyfriend's mom, not Dom's mom. I think this is the ex-boyfriend's mom. That's why I think it's inappropriate. Like, what is he doing? I feel like her and Dom were together for like 4 years. If she was 17 when this happened, we could all do math. Like, so whether this boyfriend or that Joey kid, like, what could they really tell these cops about her boyfriend-wise at 12 or 11? It's like, just sounds ridiculous to me. Like, I feel like he's grasping at straws now.
Very into herself.
14
All she cared about was herself. You know, it didn't matter if it's somebody else's birthday, it's her birthday, you know, like, even if it's not her birthday, you know, every day is her day. So she was just very selfish. All she cared about was
0, 9, 16,
clothing,
and
you know, name brand.
24
If you weren't name
seconds.
brand, you weren't cool. She did not like the police department. She's literally posted that. And
Well, you guys, we're getting a call. Hello there.
How's it going?
Hi, Daniel. You guys, Daniel's calling. I sent him a message and he called. You're the best.
Thank you.
I don't care what Britt says about you. No, I'm just joking. I had to say that one. That's like, the all-time joke. Your wife doesn't say anything bad about you. I'm joking. So we have.
She definitely does.
We have some questions. Can you guys hear Daniel? You guys, Daniel's channel, everybody go over there. One of the mods will definitely put the link in the chat. Go over and subscribe to Daniel. Okay, so Daniel, did you happen to see the case with Makenzie Shrilla? Anything about it?
I've heard about it, but I'm not familiar with it.
Okay, well.
Is that the one with the with the little girl who crashed into a car with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's friend, right?
Yes, she was 17, yeah, so I guess you could say the little one. But she was 17 and she was like living with her boyfriend. Like there's just so many inappropriate things, I think, like with her parents, as far as like they let her do whatever she wanted. She lived with her boyfriend. She was still a senior in high school and lived with Dom. Like it was just very, I don't know, crazy. But when it comes to some of the cop stuff tonight, we were just listening to, I'll have to like send them to you, but they're like calls from the detective, and he's like, first he calls the lab, which this one I totally get. He called the lab and he's pissed, like he drops the F-bomb and all, because they didn't save her blood. They never tested her blood the night of the crash, and they didn't save it. They store it for like 4 days and then throw it out, and the cop was like 3 days late.
That sucks.
Is that normal? Like, wouldn't you guys tell them that this is like a fatality? Like, don't get rid of this?
So usually in that scenario, if there's a crash like that, what ends up happening is not. No, you meant. I'm sure she. What do you mean? Like they withdrew blood from her?
So they took her blood when she got to the hospital. They did like emergency surgery and all on her, but the woman says on the phone, she's like, it looks here like the doctor ordered the test, but that they never went ahead and did anything. Like they didn't process it, and then they wound up getting rid of the blood because they only hold on to it for a few days.
I mean, that sounds like a warrant issue.
Oh, you guys, do you guys remember? He's right. He's probably right, because he said it sounds like a warrant issue. So he does say to her that the warrant was good from the date of the crash, which was the 31st of July, until the 4th. And so they wind up having blood from her from the 3rd and the 4th, because she had like many surgeries, but they didn't have it from the night of the crash. So this is my thing. One of the reasons that the cops say that they charged her with, they literally charged her with, you guys, what did she get charged with again? It was homicide, but it was like reckless homicide or something. So the penalty was either 15 to life or 30 to life. It was up to the judge, and the judge did 15 to life, 2 counts, but they're going to be served at the same time. But this cop, like her defense team, I'm not a lawyer, they did a terrible job. There is so many things here that I'm like, oh my God, I need to talk to Daniel. Like, there are so many things that the cops did wrong, I feel like. Right now, the cops on the phone, we were just listening, the cop calls her ex-boyfriend's mom. Now, let me mind you, she's 17 at the time of the crash and was with Dom for 4 years. So she was 13 the last time she had a boyfriend. And this cop, I feel like, isn't that grasping at straws? Like, he's calling the mom of her ex-boyfriend from like 4 years ago when she was 13. Like, what the hell is that about? Like, is that relevant?
Is it relevant that she was in a relationship with this boy for a long time?
Well, no, she was in the relationship with Dom. The cop is calling, so Dom's her boyfriend that dies in the crash, that she kills in the crash. This boy that he's calling the mom of the boy is her ex-boyfriend when she was like 13.
Okay.
Isn't that weird?
I mean, it is weird.
Right? Like, what the hell? I would be like, what are you? But the thing is that so much of the stuff winds up like going against her in trial. And I'm like, nobody says anything. It's the weirdest thing. I can't even. But so that was weird. So now he's literally asking the mom, like, he's like, was it a toxic relationship? I'm like, oh my God. And it's not even Dom's mom. It's the other kid's mom, because the kid won't talk to him. And that's another thing. So the kid refuses to talk to him. Apparently, where she lives, it's not like, it's like a cultural thing not to talk to cops. So he doesn't want to get involved with this kid. And the mom straight tells the cop this. But the cop is saying to him, I literally have to send you these, and we're going to have to do another live once you hear them. But he says to the mom, he's like, if your son doesn't call by Wednesday, I'm sending this to the prosecutor and he's going to subpoena him. But like, and then he's like, I'm not trying to be aggressive, but, and I'm like, you're trying to be aggressive if you're saying I'm not trying to be aggressive, but he sounded so aggressive. I'm like, is that like normal? Like, I feel like this guy's grasping at straws.
I mean, I have to look more into it, but I mean, there are some, techniques that cops can use, to get people to talk. And I mean, that sounds kind of like one that he was using. It probably sounds like some of the other ones weren't working to get this guy to come in and talk.
Yeah.
And so, it probably was more like all right, well, if you're not wanting to come in, you're not, he hasn't lawyered up. Had he lawyered up at the time?
No.
Okay, so yeah, if he hadn't lawyered up at the time, yeah, I mean,
I guess then it's like fair game.
Yeah, say what you got to get the guy to come in.
And he is doing that because he suspects that one of the reasons the kid doesn't want to talk is has to do with like smoking weed and stuff. And he's like, we're not trying to ask about that. I just want to talk to him. And then he's like, we won't even ask him about the night of the crash. We just want to know about him and Makenzie. It was just weird. And I'm like, I guess the kid never goes because they're calling his mom. But then I think there might be a video. So somebody let me know in chat if he might eventually go. We're going to have to look that up eventually. But if you went to a crash and the 3 people are all passed out when you get there, the girl winds up living, the driver, the other 2 boys are deceased. As a cop, would you guys automatically assume that it could be nefarious, or would you automatically assume that oh my God, these kids just got into a bad crash? How suspicious are cops at that scene, do you think? And I know this is all just our speculation, but just for speculation, because we don't live in Strongsville, but as somebody that was a cop, what would happen where you are?
How suspicious are you? I mean, I guess it just kind of depends. The state of the driver, if there's any evidence of intoxication or impairment, then you kind of want to look at the scene itself. Are there any skid marks?
No, there's not. There's no skid marks.
An attempt to, for the person to brake. Those type of things. If you're not seeing those things, then you gotta ask yourself why it's not there. Did the person fall asleep? Were they intoxicated? Was it on purpose?
So that is so weird that you just said that, because they then find out that she wasn't intoxicated. So if you take that out, what were the 3 things? Was she intoxicated? Did she fall asleep? Or was it intentional? She didn't fall asleep and she wasn't intoxicated. So I think that's maybe why.
She didn't fall asleep.
Because they were only driving for a few minutes and they have the camera. I have to send it to you. It's crazy. But they have her coming down the street first, and she's driving fine. She puts her turn signal on. She makes a right, and then all of a sudden she slams on the gas and goes and gets up to 95 before she crashes into a wall.
So, I mean, you're going to want to look at how, you're going to be able to tell a couple of things based on the damage of the vehicle, etc. Is that, were they going the speed limit? Is this...
Oh no, they were flying.
That was going that quick. And then, if it's a short distance, then you're probably assuming that this person accelerated on the thing. But when it comes to video and it comes to some of those things, those things don't come in right away. And so it may take some time for the investigators to come up with that conclusion, oh, look, she did accelerate, she did do this. Now, what I would assume they would do is they would take the black box out of the car and figure out what was going on the moments before it collided with whatever it collided. And depending on the vehicle, what kind of vehicle was it?
I forget the vehicle, but they definitely pulled the black box. So I'm shaking my head over here, pointing to the phone, because this is why we called you. That's exactly what they did. But the dad said that it only takes the 4 seconds before the crash. So the dad's argument... Go ahead.
But an event like slamming on the gas down to the pedal would also record that. So they would record the event of the acceleration. It would record an event if there was a break in that time frame. And it would have recorded the entire event from probably the acceleration, because I think... in the Karen Reed case, that's one of the things that they were able to determine, was that the first event was the accelerator, and then it was another port. So, If she accelerated, that would have been documented as an event, and so that would have been definitely on there.
You guys, that makes total sense. So then her dad could be wrong about that, because I don't know how long it took to get from 0 to how fast to 100 miles an hour, but it wasn't 4 seconds. It had to be longer than that, right?
Right, but what they would have determined is...
Well, I'm saying that, so it probably took longer than 4 seconds. The dad's probably wrong about that.
I mean, it could have. But what you're probably going to see is, all right, there was an impact at this time, and before that impact, a minute, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, there was an acceleration all the way, more than 60% acceleration of the accelerator. And so you'll be able to see those two, you should be able to see those two timestamps showing a correlation of the accelerator being pressed. Now, you may not have data saved between those two recorded events, but you're going to have the beginning of when she slammed on the gas, and then you should have a record of the crash itself. And so those two events should be documented on that black box.
That makes sense. And then, no, that makes sense. And that did go against her, the black box information. The cop was saying that if they found that she was like high or drunk at the time of the crime, that she would have gotten vehicular homicide and not murder. And that would have been a totally different sentencing and charge. So my question is this: now that I just found, like, not that I found it, but I haven't heard anybody talking about it, but I just listened to that thing where the detective is like so pissed. He drops the F-bomb. He's like, this case, she might get away with this now because you guys didn't save the blood. So my thing is, if you don't save the blood, can you really say that she wasn't high? Because he said that she wasn't high, so therefore she must have did it on purpose. So my thing is, could he really say that though now? Because they never got her toxicology from that day. So how does he know she wasn't drunk?
Did she claim she was?
That's true. You guys, that's true. Did she claim she was? Or did she might have said, I wasn't drunk or high, thinking that she would get in trouble if she was. And then her toxicology days later. But no, you're right. And I guess they talked to the kids at the party. They came from a party. It was like 5 a.m. And she had like shrooms in her bra and weed in her bra. And she had a scale in her bra. I don't exactly know how that worked, but she had all kinds of stuff in her bra. And she blames that on the boyfriend. She said that the boyfriend said that she should hold it because she's a juvenile and would get away with it. And I'm like, I don't believe that. But I guess that could also be why they tested her too, because she had rugs on her.
Yeah, that sounds like deflection, blaming somebody else.
Deflection, you guys, that's exactly what that is. No, you're exactly right. Yeah, that's so right. And then A. Higgins brings up a good point. A. Higgins said, would you think that, so this, what happened was, she goes from like 0 to 100 miles an hour and goes right into the wall, and these two boys die. And she's passed out for hours, but she comes back to life. I said that just sounded ridiculous, but you know what I mean. They bring her back and they give her surgery. She's now in jail. So, but A. Higgins said that one of the things that they found with the black box is that she kept going. She was in drive the whole time, and then right towards, like at the very end, her wheel gets turned really hard. I think it was to the left and then back center again. And the shifter went from drive to neutral to drive. Could that be why they think it was intentional?
Well, it sounds like somebody was trying to stop what was going on.
Yeah. And then do you think like she put it back in drive, or maybe is it harder than I'm thinking to put it in neutral while you're...
I mean, it sounds like if they're putting it in neutral drive and a turn and yank of the wheel, it sounds like there was an altercation.
Yes.
Probably before the crash, by the passenger, trying to prevent the accident.
And Daniel, that is my exact theory of what I think happened. You guys, this is why Daniel is awesome. That's literally my theory. So I'm definitely gonna send you information though, because I definitely want to do like a whole live with you, because this is like the end of my live. So I want people to like really get your take on it. So I'm gonna send you over the zip file. Will you take a look at it and then do a live with us?
Yeah, I'm more than happy to do a live.
There you go, you guys. So we'll do a live together, like on your channel and mine. You know what I mean? We'll probably have to use your StreamYard because my thing. Whenever I pull somebody up, you can't hear them, and I don't know how to figure it out. I'm gonna have to figure it out one of these days. But worst case scenario, you guys, Daniel's awesome. He would use his StreamYard so that we could hear both people and see us both at the same time, and then that way you could stream too.
Yes, ma'am, that'll work.
Thank you so much for calling us. I really appreciate you. You literally are the bestest of friends that I've ever met on I said Facebook, on YouTube, but you guys don't get mad because Truth and Cuff You and all, you're right there too. I'm just saying, especially creator-wise, Daniel took me right under his wing, and I do appreciate you. I do. So thank you so much. I'm going to send you that zip file, and then we'll talk in a couple of days or tomorrow or whatever. I'll text you, and we'll plan it. Sound good?
Sounds like a plan.
You are the best, and I will send everybody over to go subscribe and like. They probably already are, but just in case.
Well, tonight I was talking about aliens and UFOs, so if that interests you.
I did see that on your Discord. I want to check that out. I am going to check that out. I'm interested in that. So you guys, if you're interested in what's going on with the aliens, go look at that too. But Daniel also does true crime, if you don't know.
Yeah, no, I do. It's just aliens and UFOs and conspiracies are funner.
No, they are. I get it. Thank you so much for calling me. You're the best.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Daniel. All right, good night. Oh, you guys, that was so nice of him. There we go. So that was Daniel from Drunk Turkey or DT Show. Either one of them will get you to his page. But I know I saw the link already in chat, so please go over there. He's got awesome shows. He's been around a long time. Most of you already probably know who he is, and you're probably already subscribed, let's be honest. But if you don't know, for that slight chance, go check out Daniel at Drunk Turkey. All right, you guys, so I kind of want to hear like a little bit of what he has to say to the mom here, and then we'll call it a night because it's been a minute. All right, here we go. Let's finish this off.
Was anti-police.
In case you're just joining, this is crazy to me, just my opinion. I didn't get to read how you guys felt in chat, like the whole thing. I'm going to have to go back and read it. But does anybody else, if you want to write it again, does anybody think that this is weird that the police are calling? Now, like Daniel said, as a cop, if the kid doesn't have a lawyer yet, anything's fair game. If he has a lawyer, then the cop can't pursue it. But I was like, that's interesting. Like, I didn't think of that. Because at first I'm like, why are these cops trying to contact her ex-boyfriend? She was with Dom for 4 years now. Could there be a possibility that during the time of the 4 years, her and Dom broke up and she dated this boy during that time? Possibly. But the mom even said that there was another boy, Joey, before him too. So like, I don't know. I just feel like they're grasping at straws here with that. I don't know what you guys think, but let's hear what he has to say to the mom. So this is Mackenzie's ex-boyfriend, his mom.
Which is crazy to me, but I mean, how do you guys don't care about it?
And 44 seconds.
There's a law over 21, you have to drink. I understood that because it always bothered me with my son. Because I'm always like so police and you support them, and you have the people out there that are just making every police officer seem like they have a bad name. Well, there's bad people in every field.
0, 9, 17, and 0, 4
because
seconds.
My son already had like a thing of researching stuff, like even an example like Christopher Columbus, no longer do you want to learn about Christopher Columbus in school because he stole our land here from the Indians, our Native Americans. So it's like just those types of influences. I didn't like having on my son because
September
he is, impressionable by especially a young beautiful woman.
Gotcha. So on August 5th, when I talked to you, you mentioned
this cop's like, can we get back to August 5th? She just, if you couldn't hear her, talked about her son and like the influences that he looks into, and she brings up Christopher Columbus and how he stole land from the Native Americans. However, she corrects herself though. But let's listen to this. But the cop's like, can we get back? He doesn't say that, but that's what I'm feeling.
That you believe Mackenzie threatened to kill herself and Dominic. I don't know if you remember that. But
yeah,
how did you come across that?
0, 9,
So Joey and
17,
Tyler were
and
talking about
44
it, and how she used to, I guess, tell her, I can't remember the kids' names now, but Dominic had a female best friend, if I heard her name, I remember
9,
it,
17,
and a male best friend, and they were always talking about how
seconds.
she would say stuff like that.
Gotcha. When your son dated her, was there ever any concern for his safety? Did you say, hey, she threatened me, or did you hear her, or one of his friends told you? Anything
So
that would...
unfortunately, he wouldn't tell me any of that stuff because he wanted to spend time with her and hang around her. You know, so that's not something that he would have told me because he wouldn't want me stopping hanging out with her.
Mm-hmm.
Now I could tell it was a very unhealthy relationship. I don't know the extent that it was.
September
Gotcha.
32.
Why doesn't he say, Hal, can you give me an example? Like, I want to jump in the interview.
2022.
In the latest photo,
0, 9, 18, and 24 seconds.
Gotcha. But, so, I want to talk about her driving very quickly.
How would her ex-boyfriend, remember, at the time of the crash, she's 17, and she was with Dom for years. How could the ex-boyfriend's mom possibly know anything about the crash?
Was your son ever a passenger in her car? Do you know if he's ever expressed, or you saw something, or you heard something about her being a dangerous driver?
You know, she was in the car with her.
18,
he didn't have permission. I went in the car with her because she was a new driver, and because I just didn't trust her in any way, shape, or form.
0, 9,
so I don't know if he was in the car or if he was a bad driver. I could ask him. I think I recall him saying something about how she was kind of a fast driver, but I don't exactly remember if that was her or if that was another female.
Okay. The latest photo you sent me from Nautica, can you tell me how you came across this? Because I added it to my report. I included it.
0, 9, 19,
so I was at work one day and
24 seconds.
She actually works for me. I don't know why I call her a coworker. So one of my employees actually said to me, because she knows about the whole Makenzie thing, she knows about Tyler.
0,
she said
9,
that
19,
she was down at the Kid Cudi concert and
seconds.
festival, and she was there the whole time. And I said, no, she was not. Like, I was almost in disbelief. And then she showed me those images, and
0,
I said, well, you sent those to me.
19,
and she said, yes, and I sent them straight to you.
seconds.
Gotcha.
Oh my God. You guys, that's how he got the pictures of Makenzie at the concert. Her ex-boyfriend's mom was talking to one of the kids who said she went to this concert and this kid sent the mom the screenshots and she said, then I sent them right to you. And they're part of the trial. He was trying to show that she wasn't grieving, that she was out doing things. She went out for Halloween, she went to the concert. Makenzie, however, they said that Dom and her were both supposed to go to this concert and that she went with his cousin, like in his honor, in his memory. So I don't know.
So I know Tyler is still not
0, 9,
comfortable
20,
and or willing
0,
to talk to
4
us.
seconds.
Anybody else you think who I should talk to?
Joey, his friend.
0,
I have some
9,
information
20,
for you.
and
Joey also
14
dated her.
seconds.
That was in between, the three of them. It was Dominic, Joey, and Tyler.
Do you know Joey's last name?
Friday,
Kobes.
September 30, 2020.
This is the second time she like threw Joey right under there. She's like, of course I do. J-O da 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 da. And she's like, write it down. Did you get that? Do you need me to repeat it? Like, come on, don't look at my son. What's up, True Crime Rewind?
22,
off of Drake, one of the
0, 9, 20, and 24
Do you have his phone number for him or
seconds.
anything? I can find it if you don't. I'm sure.
I have his phone number.
Hi,
Do
Lynn.
you think he'd be willing to talk, or do you think he's going
0,
to...
9, 20, and 44
Number.
seconds.
She is just not all there, though.
Yeah, I got you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, she's like mentally...
0,
Oh,
9,
okay,
20,
yeah, okay. I know who he is. Okay, I got you.
seconds.
I know who he is. Yeah, don't worry about it. I got his number.
Yeah.
Is there?
So, and she too, I guess she's got a lot more information than you too, Mom. She'd probably be a lot more willing to tell you stuff, but they used to let them smoke pens and stuff in the house and do drugs, so, or drink, and I hate to say that about her, but she's just, I don't think she's mentally all there, so I don't think she really got and understood the consequences of the things that she was doing, so she might not be 100% honest with the things that they were going on over there, but I believe that girl was over there a lot with Joey because he would let have girls in his room and in his bedroom and stuff like that.
0, 9, 21 and 24.
She just said she was allowed over there with Joey because the mom let her in the bed and stuff in the room.
Is there anything else? Go ahead.
That's why I stopped my son, too, from hanging out with Joey as much. Like, Joey had to come over our house. Like, Joey was no longer allowed over there. I mean, Joey's mom even to the one point
0, 9, 21 and 44
she's not all there, but she's brutally honest.
Wow.
Oh my God, Tyler Mackenzie's ex-boyfriend's mom, did you get that one? Just said that her ex-boyfriend, Joey's mom, is not all there. And that she asked Tyler's mom at one point if she could take him in because she's not all there, according to Tyler's mom. That's crazy. I'd never heard this.
When it comes to certain things that they were doing, because the last thing I want to hear is my son is, her son's smoking pens and that she's approving of it, and my son's not over there, I'm like, wow, this idiot is really telling me this.
Mm-hmm. Are you still following her on social media? I know she kind of made things private.
0, 9, 22 and 0, 4 seconds.
No, nothing.
Okay. Well,
we had like more old stuff that they sent me, like videos of
0,
the girl
9,
that works with
22
me.
and
Probably
14 seconds.
Well, listen, if you come across anything that you think is pertinent to my investigation,
Friday, September
please,
30,
just like you did with last Sunday's picture, just send it to me.
That annoying watermark in the background is driving me bananas. And hi, Kim. Welcome, and hopefully you'll hear this. Thank you for coming.
In an email.
0, 9, 22
right now,
and
a lot of the friends are not
24
cooperating.
seconds.
I think they talked amongst each other, and nobody's saying anything. So we're still investigating. This case is not over. It's not going to be over.
0, 9,
and
22
unfortunately,
and
there's going to be some of them who will be subpoenaed by the state and will be compelled to talk. And unfortunately, Tyler's likely going to be one of them.
This is the same thing that he already threatened her with back in August. It's now, it's the end of September, but it's like 6-7 weeks later.
9,
just because we think he has information that's necessary. So
seconds.
I did turn his name over to the prosecutor along
I
with...
think that's good, though. I think it's important. I think it's important for the family to receive closure. I mean, I'm very defensive of somebody who is family with Dominic, and they are very hurt. Like, they're hurting.
Right. Mrs. Russo and Mrs. Flanagan are very, very hurt. And they're very disappointed that so many of the friends are kind of taking Mackenzie's side. And
yeah, I mean, even Dominic's sister, she's not sure what happened, and she's in denial, and, she even spent the 21st birthday for Dominic just the other day with her.
0, 9, 23 and 24 seconds.
She went to the party?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's what I was important for the...
I did not understand what she just said, and I think she said something about Dom's sister, so I want to rewind that to hear that again.
Talk amongst each other, and nobody's saying anything, so we're still investigating. This case is not over. It's not going to be over.
0, 9,
and
22
unfortunately,
and
there's going to be some of them who will be subpoenaed by the state and will be compelled to talk. And unfortunately, Tyler's likely going to be one of them.
9,
just because we think he has information that's necessary. So I did turn his name over to the prosecutor along with...
I think that's good, though. I think it's important. I think it's important for the family to receive closure. I mean, I'm very defensive of somebody who is family with Dominic, and they are very hurt. Like, they're hurting.
Right. Mrs. Russo and Mrs. Flanagan are very, very hurt. And they're very disappointed that so many of the friends are kind of taking Mackenzie's side. And
yeah, I mean, even Dominic's sister, she's not sure what happened, and she's in denial, and, she even spent the 21st birthday for Dominic just the other day with her.
0, 9, 23 and 24 seconds.
She went to the party?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
That's what I was told.
Okay, what I think just happened there was, wow. So what just happened, in case you couldn't hear over the watermark, I'm so glad I rewound it. The mom says to the detective, and he doesn't seem like he knows the information because he says, to the party? Wow. So the cop says that Miss Flanagan and Miss Russo are hurting really bad right now, and that they're hurting especially because people are taking Mackenzie's side. And then she says, yes, even Dom's sister doesn't know what's going on. And do you guys remember, if anybody doesn't know this yet, Dom's sister has a channel. Go sub up to it. It's like Big Sister Unhinged, I think it's called. And it's really good. So, but she tells us in one of her lives that she and her dad, or in the Netflix thing, I think she says it, that her and her dad at first didn't think that Makenzie would do something like that. Like, they just didn't think so. And Makenzie was at Dom's birthday party. And this woman, Tyler's mom, is telling the detective that she knows this because she was just with her yesterday type thing, and she told her, and she said that she doesn't know what to believe, and she doesn't want to believe that she did this on purpose. So that's very, very interesting. But we do know too that eventually, even at court, she said she sat on Mackenzie's side in the very beginning, and so did the dad. But then when they, at one point, they would like, it just wasn't sitting right, and they felt like she did it on purpose. And then, you know, they came to the realization, especially once she's found guilty, I'm assuming.
Interesting. All right. Well,
it makes me sick too. Like, I honestly feel like all that GoFundMe money should go to Mrs. Flanagan. You know, like, she's the one that had to bury her child. She's the one that's going to have a heart that's going to hurt forever. Like, why should Mackenzie be out here spending that money on drugs and
54 seconds?
Right.
Like, if she's able to go to an actual festival and pay to get in there, like, I think they're good.
9,
allow these children who were buried, allow their parents to have some kind of grief and be able to stay at home and grieve for a period of time where it could help them, you know, and just the cost of loan that pays to bury them, not
14
I don't know how it would function, honestly.
Right.
I can't even imagine it from their point of view. Like, these people have their daughter Mackenzie.
Friday,
they should take that money and give it to who it deserves to be belonged to.
2022.
It's sad that she's out here with $30,000 and it looks like she's doing just fine. She was at that festival doing just fine.
Yeah. Well, I do appreciate your time, Deanna, and listen, anything that you can think of that's pertinent, anything you come across, just please email it to me. And like I said, you know, eventually here in the next few weeks, the prosecutor's going to look at the case and, you know, we'll take it from there. But it's not over yet, you know, because I know there's some people think it is. It's not over. We're still looking into it. But with uncooperative people, with uncooperative kids, it becomes extra work because now we have to, you know, do extra work. Whereas had they just come in and said, "Oh, here you go," you know, it would have been probably kind of concluded a lot sooner.
September 30,
you know, if Tyler changes his mind, just give him my phone number, please.
9,
if not, like I said, the prosecutor will probably be reaching out to him directly.
Okay, that sounds good. I think that that's important to do because these kids, they really do need to come forward, and you know, they need to stop being so selfish and thinking about themselves and, you know, the reputation or what it can do for them, and think about these parents who lost their child and they're never getting back.
Agreed. Well, thank you very much for your time.
All right, thank you so much. If I find anything out of here, I'll definitely email you.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Seconds.
Bye.
Friday.
Wow, you guys. I never heard that, and let me tell you why. That thing in the background was maddening. I so get why I turned it off many times in the past. But I'm so glad I listened to it tonight, because maybe it was like Daniel calling in between that broke it up a little bit, but that thing in the background, Friday, 9:30, 6:45 p.m. Oh my God. They should spread that out and lower it a little bit. Like, what is the point of that? Every 2 seconds they have to say it. I mean, I guess that's the way that they... I wish I could have asked Daniel about that. I didn't think of that. I'll have to put it on my list to ask him. But, like, what is the point of that? Like, why do they have to do it over and over and over and over? Travis, why do they do it? Like, it's so annoying. Enough. Oh my gosh. It made me crazy too. Oh my goodness. Oh my God, you two bad actors. I saw your thing on Jay is for Justice, or was it Every Day with Jay? But one of the channels, and pissed my pants laughing. You really do funny videos. So you guys should go watch You Two Bad Actors videos. They're really funny. They were good. I was laughing. I think I even, that day, I think I was able to comment. I think I came in, but I went back later and like watched it because I was doing stuff. I couldn't see all of it. Oh my God, it was so funny. Travis, what do you think about this case before we hang up? What do you, oh, you guys, here goes Thor again. Is it 12:30? No, it's 12. Thor's 30 minutes early. Usually he starts bitching at 12:30, but he's doing the water thing now. He just heard his name and walked away. He's so cute. Thor boy, come here, Thor. He's like a mind trouble. He's confused. Anyway, yeah, guys, thirsty. Exactly. I left 2 comments. It was so funny. I definitely watched and I definitely laughed. Okay, you guys, I appreciate all of you coming here for that second one. Here, Thor, you want to come say hi, buddy? Come here. You're not in trouble. Come on. Thor, oh, he is such a fraidy cat. Come on, Thor, it's okay. You can come up. I had to move the table over more because he was afraid. Thor, come say hi to everybody. Say hi, everybody. Come here. If I stop petting you, you'll come in. There you go. Here you go, Darboy. He's going to get scared if I go too fast. Oh, he's not looking, which means he probably, I don't know. He's good. I was going to say he probably like ate something outside. He was like barking at something. I don't know what it was though. But yeah, you guys, this is my co-host Thor. He literally is, because he has to be seen every time I go live. Right, Thor? Right, buddy? Hi, Thor. Hi, Thor. You're so cute. You ready to go to bed? You tired? He looks tired. All right, you guys. With that being said, I am going to fix his bow tie and then go to bed. I have work in the morning. But thank you guys so much for coming here tonight. That was so nice of you. Wendy, how are you? Oh my gosh, how you doing? Kim, you guys, what should I do next? Do I go back to, is anything going on with David? I don't know. You guys are going to have to tell me what we do next, or, you know what I mean? Because I don't know how much Makenzie stuff's out there, but you never know. I did listen to her audio of, I think it was Mommy Ramblings. Is that the name? It was, she put all of the audios together on one like video, and it's like 2.5 hours, but I listened to the whole thing and took notes. So we do have to eventually maybe go over some of it. It's just points though. Like for 2.5 hours, that's not really a lot of notes. I mean, it is, but it's not like a lot of times to stop. So maybe we go over that eventually too. But you guys let me know what you want me to do next. Thank you to my mods who are always here. You guys are literally the best. Thank you to all of my members, all of my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed, you guys, I'm like 11 people away from my next goal, and I would just appreciate that so much. It's the only way that I'm going to get out there. Without you guys, I can't get out there. You know what I mean? Oh, these are graduation decorations. We're having a party soon, and I'm trying to get ready. So I have shit all over the place. So excuse my background for today. All right. Thank you so much for being here. I don't know when I'll be here again. What's tomorrow, Thursday? Maybe Friday. We'll see. I don't know, we'll see. But hopefully you guys will be back here, and hopefully you'll get my notification because I love catching up with you guys. And if you want to go over to Discord, you can stay caught up with us because we're over there all the time. So I love you guys, and thank you so much for making all of this possible, and thank you for all of your jewels and stuff. That was so very generous of all of you, and I appreciate you so very much. So everyone, have a good night, and I'll see you next time. Thank you again for coming. Bye, you guys.